Hello and welcome to the United Stand. How you all doing? Well, the team news is in. First of all, let's talk about that team news because I think it's really interesting. In relation to the United lineup, Mkhitaryan starting. Look, let's go with it. I think in big games you've got to trust Jose, and in big games it can work quite well. But for the life of me, yet again, I don't understand why Mkhitaryan is starting in a game like this. Bay, Jones, Smalling, Valencia, Young is positive. We're going to go 3-5-2. I think that's a really positive thing. Herrera, Matic, Mkhitaryan, Lukaku, Rashford, the bench. Fellaini makes the bench. Darmian, Blind, McTominay, Lingard, Martial. It's a very weak bench, let's be honest with you. But let's get Ross on as well. Ross, can you hear me?
How you doing, Mark? You alright?
Good. All fast firing at the moment, but it looks like a 3-5-2, which is the big positive for me. Mkhitaryan was always going to be the concern, I've got to be honest. Yeah,
definitely. I just turned the football down because I'm watching the worst game of football I think I've ever watched with Arsenal Man City. But yeah, 3-5-2, mate. That is the one for me. It's the formation going forward. It's our best chance of winning today. Yeah, Mkhitaryan. What a gamble that is. You're basically playing the most out of form player in the Premier League at the minute, I think, given what we're used to seeing of him. So he needs a big performance today. He really does. And again, he's kind of the only real talking point because 3-5-2 is positive, great. I know Martial's on the bench. Some people won't like that, but the whole game depends on how well Mkhitaryan plays. And hopefully we see a positive performance today. I think it just depends how much Chelsea get about him, to be honest, and how physical they are. And if they give him space, then maybe he can punish.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly go onto the OneFootball app now. You can download this free. The link is in the video description for it. If you go to matches, we'll avoid the City-Arsenal one for the moment. Click Chelsea versus Manchester United. You can get a live ticker on there. You can get the lineups on there, and there is the Chelsea one I just wanted to have a quick look at. So Coates in goal, Azpilicueta, Christensen and Cahill. Don't know much about this Christensen. I think that's quite interesting. Kante back for them. Bakayoko, Alonso, Zabacosta, Fabregas, Morata and Eden Hazard. To be honest, I look at that Chelsea side, Ross, and I'm not too concerned by it. You know, Kante's a good player, but he's defensive. Bakayoko, I never wanted him at United anyway. Who is Christensen? Cahill's got a mistake in him. Check Fabregas again. This is not the Chelsea side we played last season. Of course they could beat us. I'm not saying that they can't. But I look at that City result at the moment and it doesn't fill me with fear. Manchester United, as you can see there, De Gea, Bay, Smalling, Jones. I love the fact that we're playing Antonio Valencia and Ashley Young as those wing-backs. Matic, Mkhitaryan, Lukaku, Rashford. I look at the two teams. I think Mkhitaryan is the big concern, but I do look at the two teams, and I am quite confident. You can download the link to OneFootball app, link in the video description. It's got all the stats on there. But let's go back to that Chelsea team for a minute, Ross. It's not. I'm trying to think what it's missing. I mean, I'm a big fan of Willian. I think he's the second biggest threat they have under Hazard, and he doesn't even pick him. No Pedro either. It's quite a defensive Chelsea side, I think. Fabregas isn't blessed with pace either.
No, I was reading before the game that they've decided not to include David Luiz in the matchday squad, and I have heard that I don't think he's injured. I think that's a tactical decision, so which is bad for us because he has a mistake in him. And actually, I've seen a little bit of that Christensen, and he actually looks quite good, which is a worry. I'd have rather than play David Luiz, to be honest, because he's got more mistakes in him. But yeah, it's average, you're right. And that's why they've been dropping a lot of points this season. That's why they got battered by Roma midweek, which is poor for them. So a bit like Tottenham, they're coming off the back of quite an embarrassing defeat, to be honest. So I think that bodes well for us, to be honest, because they're not a high-flying team. They're not high in confidence. And I think their biggest threat is probably the striker that we were supposed to buy, which is Morata, because he's such a threat around the goal. And if their players play him in, I worry for our defence. But it's all about not letting him get played in. So the midfielders have got a big game today. It's interesting that we don't have Pogba at all, though. But it's the right decision going into an international break for me.
Just looking at obviously just very very quickly. There is a game on at the moment, Manchester City v Arsenal. I mean, I think very naively, some people think that Arsenal could have got a result here today. I mean, I never expected it. I've watched bits of the game. I've got it on now. I cannot believe that it's like a hooker on holiday. Arsenal's defence. They are so wide open. It is unbelievable. But until teams figure out that against Man City, I mean, look, they're just so open. I'm watching it now, and I just think it's idiotic. Teams are just going to have to realise that Pep Guardiola is a one-trick horse who plays very attacking, pressing football. You've got to play very defensive football. But I thought the penalty against Arsenal was very, very soft. But Michael Oliver's always lived up the backside of City. But it doesn't change anything, Ross. I don't think a draw is a good result for United today. I think any other season it probably would be. But teams are so poor defensively that City, I think, are going to beat most teams this season. We've got to beat Chelsea, and I look at that Chelsea lineup and I think very, very defensive. We've got to go and get a result there today. We've got to win. I don't think a draw is a good result.
Yeah, Arsenal have done us no favours today. And to be honest, I watched that first 45 minutes and I thought, I am so pleased I'm not an Arsenal fan watching this, because I'll be smashing up the TV, all sorts, because they were crap, like properly crap. And City haven't been that great. But this game, this result...
2-1, they've got a goal back. Lacazette.
Yeah, just seen that. And again, Arsene Wenger not starting his £50 million man, idiot. But I still don't think Arsenal are going to get a result today at all. So it's on us, and now the draw for me isn't an option. The draw would have been an option if this result went another way, but now it's a win or bust for me, and that's, again, it's really early to say it, but that's for the season for me. We can still finishing second to be a bit of a result, but that's not what we're about. We need to challenge City. We need to push them the way, put the pressure on like Tottenham always do. But I just hope that we can get at Chelsea today. And I don't know about you, Mark, but I think it's different to the Tottenham game. I think that we played the right tactics against Tottenham, but I want us to go at Chelsea a little bit today, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I'm just typing out the team there for everybody. It will go along the bottom of the screen in a moment. But I don't, you know what? Anthony Martial's won Player of the Month for the last 2 months. I think he's our best player. Doesn't start today. To be honest, I sort of agree with it. I think Rashford gives you more effort, and then you bring Martial to win you the game. At some point, Martial's got to get back into the team and start winning the games, playing from the start. I do think he's our best player, but today I don't have a massive. I mean, I've just noticed that Juan Mata's not even on the bench.
No, he's picked a strange team, strange squad, not team, because starting 11 kind of picks himself. So yeah. If Mata's getting dropped from McTominay and Lingard again, you feel for the man.
Yeah, I don't know what's gone on there. So I mean, let me just have a check on my subs. So I've got I've put Mata on the bench. That's not correct, everybody at home. Let me just sort this out. So we've got Romero. Yeah. I'm just waiting for it to go past on the screen. But unless he's picked up an injury, which we're not aware of, Darmian, Blind. Yeah. McTominay. Yeah. McTominay, Lingard.
Fellaini makes the bench.
Yeah.
Which is a big positive for me, that.
Yeah, I've put Mata on there instead of Fellaini. But I mean, to be honest, unless anybody in the live comments knows anything different, maybe Mata has an injury, because I don't see why he wouldn't be part of it. I think United need Pogba back and Fellaini back ASAP, because I think, we're even beyond saying Martial, this is Mkhitaryan's last chance. I mean, he's had so many chances and let us down recently. If Mkhitaryan's the reason we don't win the game today, I think there's going to be massive scenes, absolutely massive scenes, because I think it's, to be fair, Ross, I mean, we're all big fans of Jose, but this is on him today. Picking Mkhitaryan, I think a lot of people feel is a bad mistake. I'm probably like most United fans. I hope it turns into be a brilliant mistake, because I hope he can turn up. He's a good player, but today's going to be a battle. And we talked about Spurs last week, and we had 10 people battling, but not Mkhitaryan again. I mean, do you think he can come good, or do you think he just shouldn't even be in the lineup?
No, I think he
What a
can
save
come
by
good.
Jack.
Yeah, I think he can. All is not lost with him. He's just in a really poor run of form, but he showed a little glimpse in his last game against Tottenham that there was some creative spark there. He just needs to get a few passes together, because what happens in the first half hour normally is he gets the ball 3 times. 2 of them times he gets nudged off the ball, and the other time he just passes it back to the other opposition's player, and then that kind of sets up the game for him. So I think he just needs to get early touches, early passes in, build his confidence, and then later on in the game we'll see the more creative Mkhitaryan. But he just needs to work a bit harder and not lose the ball for me, and then it'll all be good. But it's quite. I think it's a big positive to have Fellaini on the bench today, actually, because so many times since we've lost Pogba and Fellaini, I'd look to the bench and think, Jesse Lingard, it's kind of all that we've got coming off, to be honest. But it's a big positive for me that if Mkhitaryan's not playing that well, we can potentially put Fellaini on and change our tactics and go a little bit route one, because I think we've missed having that alternative. So I'm pleased that the big Belgium's back.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on this Arsenal game, as I'm sure many people are. I mean, City look like they'll score the third goal any minute. I think that they're surprised that Arsenal have got a goal back, but it's the sort of game where it would be massively fantastic if somehow they managed to get a point. But Roma Dude, I've got no idea what the score with Mata is. I've tweeted something out, so sometimes people will tweet back and say something about it, but it's... I'm very happy with the team. My only trouble is the Mkhitaryan position. I think, I would have took Mkhitaryan, I suppose the alternative would have been Mkhitaryan doesn't start and we play the 4-2-3-1. And we haven't done that. I think it's really, we could have played 5-3-2 and played Darmian. We've not. We've played two very attacking fullbacks to give us the width. And I look at that Chelsea side, again, let me just go back to that and show you. It's still 2-1 in the other game for anybody who's interested. But we'll be getting a lot of our stats today on the OneFootball app, which is in the link in the video description for you to download. And if you go through, if you are on the OneFootball app, what you need to do is you need to go down to the bit that says matches at the bottom. You then go to Chelsea versus Manchester United. It's got a live ticker when the game's up and running, giving you all your stats. Like Chelsea have just lost just one of their last 15 home Premier League games against Manchester United. Bloody hell, that's horrific, Ross, isn't it? 15. They've only lost 1 in 15 in their last 15 Premier League games at Stamford Bridge. It's a horrific record.
Yeah, it is horrific. I think it was about 2012 or 13. I think our last victory. So doesn't make for good reading, but. We've always got a result there, though, in my memory. I mean, we've had a lot of 1-1 draws. I remember the Van Persie late goal, and I also remember a Jesse Lingard bit of a worldie against them, actually. So we've always managed to nick a result at Chelsea, and they're not a bogey team for us. I just think that we're struggling away from home at the Bridge, but they've always been a fantastic team. I think we're probably playing them at the weakest that I've seen them for quite a while, actually, which is why there's a lot of optimism around United that we should get a result today. I think Tottenham are a better team than them, even without Harry Kane. So, and we brushed them aside. I think you're right. The Martial thing, it's key that he's coming on late in the game for me. And he might be our best player, but having him come on, having your best player coming on, is going to completely throw them. So as long as we're within a sniff when he comes on, I think that we have a massive chance today. But there's a lot. It's not just Mkhitaryan today. I think there's a little bit of pressure on Lukaku to not necessarily score a goal, but just have a decent game. Because I know I don't agree with any of the stick that he gets at all. I think it's dreadful and disgusting. But at the same time, I want to see him more involved, getting first touches in, passing it, laying it off, because his first touch has gone back to the first touch of Everton. And he was better at the start of the season. He's kind of gone a little bit backwards for me, so I want to see a performance from him today.
Yeah, I agree. I think, sorry, I'm messing around with lots of different things at the moment, but I think you should have the Chelsea lineup up on the screen, I hope. Probably not, because I've flicked around off the screen. No, you won't. Let me get it back. What was I doing? I know. Live TV and all that. Okay. What have I done? We'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. But yeah, still 2-1 in the Man City Arsenal game. Hopefully we can see another goal in that game from an Arsenal perspective. But it's quite equal. But you just fancy City will manage to score another goal. But in relation to United, yeah, I'd agree with what you said, Ross. I think it is it's an interesting position. I think Conte's sort of, there's rumours of website articles being written in relation to him and him potentially getting the sack, which I think is quite funny. And from a United point of view, look, obviously I want United to win, United fan, but I would love it for Jose because I thought he was treated so badly there last year. I would absolutely love it for Jose if he was able to go there and get a result. What's your score prediction? Is my long answer, I suppose.
I'm going to go with 1-0 to United because I just think that if we do go 1-0 up, I don't think we'll carry on attacking. We'll sit back. But again, like I said with the Tottenham game, first goal wins it for me. So if we do go 1-0 down, I do really worry for us. So we've just got to be tight and hope to get a goal. And in the first half,
City have just scored 3-1. You knew that was going to happen. The game goes open, and it's Arsenal who score. It's City who score. But I expected that. I think they've just lulled us into a false sense of security there, that we thought something was going to happen. I think I'm just watching it back. Yeah, the linesman's got to be giving that offside. He's got to give that offside. I thought it was a soft penalty and definitely offside. I mean, the linesman, if you have ever been a linesman or a referee, which I've done in a couple of games, basically the defender's behind Silva, so the line is, you can't even see whether the defender's playing him on or not, so it's got to be offside. He's just a fat, lazy linesman who's not got himself back into position and has guessed. But City are getting all the look at the moment. I mean, people won't accept it about City, but if you saw them against Bournemouth away, jammy as hell. If you saw them against Liverpool were the better team, but Mane got sent off, jammy as hell. If you saw them at Chelsea, Morata get injured in the first half, jammy as hell. And if you've seen them play today, I thought it was a soft penalty. Arsenal get back in the game, and then they get given an offside goal. It is absolutely ridiculous how lucky City are. Granted, they're playing well, and managers are going to City and playing like I said, just opening their legs and having it. But I'm fed up.
I've just seen it back. I'm on a bit of a delay because I'm watching it on Now TV, but he's had a bit of a shocker. Literally half of his body is offside. You're right. Rubber the Green FC, we should call them.
Yeah. Well, to be fair to Arsenal, it's probably, they've not been as bad as they could have been. But anyway, let's One Football app, link in the video description. That's what I've got up on the screen at the moment, and you can see, as I said, let me show you properly this time. Once you're in the app, if you go to the bottom bit where it says matches, click Chelsea versus Manchester United and go to your lineups, and that is the Chelsea lineup. Quartes in goal, Azpilicueta, Christensen and Cahill, Zabaleta, Alonso, Bakayoko, Kante, Fabregas, Hazard, Morata. I'm not fearful of it. I'm not fearful of it at all. It looks quite defensive to me. I don't know anything about Christensen, Cahill, Azpilicueta. It's a workman-like team, and I feel that this game, Ross, is going to be about work rate. I think it's going to be about the team that works the hardest will win this game.
Yes, and that's why I'm so pleased that we have Ander Herrera playing today. A lot of stick. He's been getting a lot of stick all round, not just at the start, but I think he's still getting it. But I'm now pleased that he's in our starting 11, especially for the big games like today, because there's that brilliant clip that goes around on Twitter of him literally following every step that Hazard put on the pitch. And we need something like that today, because they have got one or two danger men and the rest of the team is very average. So you need players like that, and massive from Herrera today. But the biggest player that we have today is the ex-Chelsea man Matic, and I'm going to be so happy watching him hopefully dominate their midfield, and I think he will. And I'm hoping, we always have Pogba Kante. Well, it's going to be Matic Kante today, and I can guarantee one of them's going to come out the better man, and he'll be wearing a red shirt.
I hope so. I think, with this City result, we've got to win. I totally agree with Ross. I've said it myself. I think if we beat Chelsea today, we could win the title. I think it's that important. But look at the rub of the green City are getting at the moment. A draw for me is just not a good result against Chelsea, who I just look at them and I said it at the start of the season. I don't think Conte will see out the season at all. And I think we've got to be expansive, and I think we are expansive. I think I've got a lot of faith in Bailly and Jones and Smalling to deal with Morata. It'd be interesting to see. Well, how do you think we're going to deal with Hazard? Because
Herrera.
Well, somebody said Herrera, but then if Herrera's dealing with Hazard, that takes Herrera out of the midfield battle, and you can't expect Mkhitaryan and Matic to deal with Kante and Bakayoko. I just wonder whether we're not going to bother. I think we'll just go, you know what, let Hazard do whatever he wants. We're going to impose ourselves on the game. I mean, you could put Valencia on him, but then you lose the width down the right. So, I don't know. I think it's... I've got to keep saying we're away from home. I feel as tense and nervous as I did against the Spurs game last week because I don't think there's a definitive result in this game. I think it's just a very intriguing game. But I do look at the way we're set up, and I have got a lot of confidence that if we all turn up, I don't rate that Chelsea side. So I think we can win it, but it's very, very, very intriguing.
Yeah, I kind of agree. The only thing with this season is these big games, last season I kind of didn't want to play the big four at all because I knew that we'd struggle. But this season, with the way Mourinho is starting to set us up tactically, I'm really excited for these big games, and none more so than Man City because I have so much confidence in our overall play. We might not be as expansive attacking-wise as Man City, but our overall play I think is better defensively. We're probably stronger in midfield, just not as creative. And that's kind of how I feel today. And I feel that we've got the right manager. Our manager's not being linked to get sacked at all. And he still gets the full backing from us. And little things like that, little things like Conte maybe getting sacked, maybe not, really does affect teams in these sorts of situations. And I'm sure there's a continuity with United, and that's why I'm confident. And I'm just confident that we don't concede today, to be honest, because I just think that the way the team's set up and the confidence he's given to us defensively, I honestly think we could sign Liverpool centre-backs, and if Jose Mourinho was managing them, he could make them into a decent defensive line. That's how good he is at defensive setting up and bringing out the best in his players. Let's not forget he's done that to pretty much most of the Chelsea teams throughout the years, and he's the one that done that to Gary Cahill.
Yeah, we've just got to win. I think that's what I'd say. Look, I said there was two certainties this weekend. One, that Liverpool would beat West Ham because they're shocking, and they did. I think I even predicted 4-1. And two, that City would beat Arsenal, and they have. Not as convincingly as I thought they would have done. But although what I would say is I'm not saying Arsenal deserve to get a point or anything like that. I think it's absolute. If I was an Arsenal fan, shoot me. But if I really was an Arsenal fan, I would be disgusted by Wenger's tactics today. How open they've played again. I mean, it's as if he's not watched City all season, and he probably hasn't. He's such an arrogant prat. But how open they've played at the Etihad, they could have got beat 5 or 6-0. In reality, City have been quite wasteful. And they've had to rely on two shocking referee decisions. But I tell you what gets on my nerves in relation to City is how many United fans. I've just put up a tweet, Ross, saying City. Not only are they a very good side, they're also getting handouts from the referee and the linesman, which makes it doubly hard for teams like United and Spurs. But the amount of United fans supposedly saying, "Oh, give them fair dues, give them credit where it's due." What's happening to football, Ross?
No.
What is happening to football? Why are United fans giving credit to bloody Man City? Jog on.
Yeah, it's dreadful. There's a little bit of a City fest. I can't say the word before it, but yeah, there's a City fest going on Twitter at the minute, and it's not good. And that's why I really want this fixture to come tomorrow. I want United versus City because we will shut the door on them. No other club seems to do it. If I was Arsenal, I'd be apologising to United fans now for ever comparing Xhaka to Pogba because he is pitiful on there, honestly. Aaron Ramsey's looking like twice the player Xhaka is. That's how bad he is. So, you know, Arsenal were always going to do this, and every team's done this at City. Why do they attack Manchester City? You can't do that against them. But yet teams do. Liverpool did it, Chelsea did it, and now Arsenal have done it. They've all got turned over. Well, one team won't do it, and it'll be United, and then we'll see what character City have got. And I don't think that they've really been tested, and the biggest test is yet to come, which is why I want, you know, I won't give any credit to them. And I still believe, call it blind, call it hopeful, but I still think the wheels will fall off this City team at some point this season. And like you say, all we need to do is be there or thereabouts and pounce when they, you know, have that inevitable run of bad form.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, I mean, I have seen a lot of City this season, and you know, even watching them in this game, you know, it's a bit like Celtic breaking whatever rubbish record they broke yesterday. I don't think City are that good at all. I just think everybody's turning up against them and just saying, oh, we're going to try and have a go at you. We're going to be really, really expansive. I agree with Ross. I think if when we play them, Mourinho will set us up. And I don't care about the United fans who say, oh, we're parking the bus, it's not the United way. We haven't played the United way for about 7 or 8 years. We didn't play the United way under Sir Alex Ferguson the last few years. And that's the thing that really makes me laugh the most about the United way. And I'm a big advocate of the United way. Spot on, we should be playing the United way. But we haven't played the United way for many, many years. When we won the title with Sir Alex with Van Persie, we didn't win it the United way. We grinded it out. And at the moment, City, Pep has inherited a team that's won titles very recently. He's had an open checkbook, and he's got a team that plays very expansive football. I can't wait to play them, because we will shut them out and show everybody how you do it. And it frustrates the hell out of me how everybody is having this City fest at the moment. They're not that good. It's just teams are trying to go toe-to-toe with them, and in an attacking sense, they've got a lot of talent. I just hope we win today, because I'll be very, very frustrated if we don't.
Yeah, that United way thing, you're right. It's a myth, and it needs to be shut down, because what is the United way anymore? Like you say, I remember that last season with Fergie, we went behind 26 times that season. Was that the United way, to go behind, to on purposely go 1-0 down and then pretty much panic? No, that's not United way. The United way is to win games and win trophies, and I don't care how. As long as we're at the end of the season, we have the silverware in our hand, and Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City are in there on their keyboards crying. That's the United way for me. And I think that we've got the best manager in putting the silverware in our hands. And he showed that last season when Pep, Klopp all ended up cupless, and we ended up with trophies. So that's what we need to do, and we've done it. And I think we've built on that. Injuries have slowed us down a little bit, granted, but that's why I just want this game. Get this game out of the way, get 3 points, and let's go play City and show the rest of the Premier League how they are stopped.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think United have played the United way since Ronaldo went, by the way, which was 2009. That was the United way. It was quick on the break, quick movement to the ball. We've been, the last few years, the Sir Alex were quite workmanlike, but I've got to say, I will argue with any United fan who ever says to me, "Oh, give City credit." That's not what I've been brought up to do. It's like asking me to give Liverpool credit. I will never do it. It irritates me, and I think every real United fan should be irritated by the City loving, not sat there going, "Oh, another 3 points from a fancy Premier League team because Silva got an assist." It was bloody offside for a start. Start having a bit of loyalty and understanding what supporting your club is against your rivals, because it does my bloody head in. I'm not one of I don't think you're a real football fan of your club, whether it's United or whoever you support, if you sit back and go, "Oh, fair plays, credit where it's due," to a club that's basically had an open checkbook. Yeah, credit where it's due. No, that's not what football's about for me. Football's about rivalry, and City are really winding me up at the moment. Really winding me up, because I'm fed up of watching. Even West Brom last week, who are meant to be a team that park the bus, don't park the bus. I mean, I'm not a Premier League manager. I'm not on hundreds of thousands of pounds every month. But I tell you what, I could manage a team against Man City, and we wouldn't have any player in their half. I'd just sit back. I'd sit back and soak up the pressure, and they wouldn't know what to do. But Premier League managers seem to know best at the moment. Let's have a look what people are saying in the comments. We need some injuries to City players, just like what happened to us, to Stepney. Look, as Gary Neville said, as we've said, Ross, as well, what we need to do is win today, stay within two results of City, and just wait for December when us and Spurs play them. And I think that is going to be the important time, because I think we can beat them. And I think Spurs, as long as they don't go and... I mean, probably what'll happen is by the time December comes, Spurs will lose Ali, Kane and a couple of other their players, and City will just stay fit. But I think Spurs can beat them, and I think we can beat them. And as long as we're within 5 points of them, game on.
Yeah, that's exactly what we got to do. Just keep grinding out these results. And do you know what? We've had probably our worst run of fixtures that we're going to have this season. We've had some real tough games all in a row. And if you just forget about Huddersfield, it was a blip. They're always going to happen in a season. Everyone will have that game. But if we come out of Liverpool, Tottenham and Chelsea with 7 points, you'd have to applaud Mourinho and say, well done, lad, because that's phenomenal form, that. I know Man City might have replicated the same, but I'm a firm believer that, yes, City are doing really well this season. And if City wasn't playing, if we had the same team that we had this season playing last season's Premier League, we'd be absolutely walking it.
Yeah,
it's just a shame that they were given that open checkbook, and they have improved, but there's flaws there, and the rest of the Premier League needs to, because when teams play United, it's their cup final, and I just don't feel like they feel the same when they play City. I just think they think, oh, well, that's, we're going to lose this game, but hey ho, let's just go out there and see what happens. When they come to United, it's live or die by that result, and I think it would change. I think people will start taking City more seriously not just as a game, but as an occasion. Because at the minute, I don't think anyone really fancies playing City because the stadium's half empty, the fans don't sing. What's the point? So I think clubs just need to build up that result a little bit more. And I've just seen the replay of that offside, and the linesman was bang in line, looking down the line.
He can't see if the defender's playing him on, because the City player's the first player in the line. So you've got to give it offside. He's just not. He's too frigging lazy, and he's behind the play. Yeah. He's guessed, and you should never guess onside. But
rubber the green FC, mate. Rubber the green FC.
But to be honest as well, I think you're spot on about City there. And there's a couple of comments. Jay Millsy says Mark is basically saying that you can't have your own opinion, and if it differs from him, you're not a real fan. Love you to call in, mate, because I put you back in your little box that you're talking about there. I'm not saying that at all. Of course, everybody's got an opinion. You absolute fool. I mean, that is just really, really childish. What I'm actually saying is, I don't believe real Manchester United fans sit back after that today and go, fair play to City, they're doing really well, I like what they're doing. That's not being a Manchester United fan to me. That's half and half brigade, half and half scarf brigade. And look, some people on the United stand may well own a half and half scarf. That's up to you. In my opinion, as Mark Goldbridge, I don't believe that real United fans should be sat there going fair play to City without a real bit of bitterness and anger and frustration in them, because that's what supporting your club's about. That's what football is to me. Because I know a lot of City fans, well I don't because there aren't many, but I know a lot of Liverpool fans, they hate United. And it's nothing to do with wanting to go and stab us in the street or anything like that. It is genuine bitter rivalry between two massive clubs with a lot of history. So I'm not telling you to make your mind up. If you want to buy a half and half scarf and cheer City on because you've got a few players in your fancy Premier League team, then you crack on. But that's not, I think you're depriving yourself of being a real football fan of your club, because rivalry is a big part of it. But what I was also going to say about Ross, who made a very, very good point there, is everybody does play their cup final against Manchester United. I think even if City run away with this league, they'll still be going to teams in March who go, City have got a poor defence, let's play open against them, and they'll be beaten 4 or 5-0. People just don't seem to get it. They think City have got a weak defence, let's get at them. Yeah, they have got a weak defence, but they've got a very good attack, and if you don't sit back against them, they will cut you to ribbons, and they'll do it week in, week out. But the thing that really, I don't know whether you had the sound on for the Aguero penalty, Ross, but what made me laugh is, and this is the thing about City that really, really makes me laugh, no matter how much success they have, they're at the Etihad, at home to Arsenal, in what is one of their biggest games of the season in the Premier League calendar. They get a soft penalty, there's barely a murmur, Aguero puts it away, 2-0, basically wins them the points, and it's like being at a loner's funeral, the atmosphere. It was just like polite. It was polite claps. Now, if that was Old Trafford, there would have been a roar for the penalty, and then when it goes in, we would have been erupting because we'd know we've beaten a big rival 2-0. This is the thing about City. It's bought. The whole thing is bought. It's so fake. Even though they may well run away with the title, it's just not real. It's so bloody fake. There is no substance to that club at all.
I'm stealing that, mate. It's like being at a loner's funeral. I'm having that. I'm nicking that off you. Yeah, it's. Do you know what? I'm so pleased. I mean, you know, I think we all are. We're so pleased that we're fans of our club, which is United, because when I go to see United, I'm not a season ticket holder. I literally have to go on Twitter and beg, absolutely beg for tickets. And do you know what? I love it. I love that I have to do that, because if I was a City fan, I'm pretty sure I could go onto Twitter and put any tickets going. I'd probably get about 700 notifications the next day. And that's the difference in the two clubs. And you're right. It's, you know, United versus Arsenal is a massive game. The stadium's full for United versus, you know, Colchester Town. That's what United is. That's what we're about. But, you know, we're not mercenaries. We haven't been supporting our club for 2 years. We've probably been supporting them for 20. So there is a massive gulf, and that sets the standard. And when the crowd's not as loud or not as up to the game, I think it probably actually helps City in a way, because I think, like we were just saying, rival fans don't really care. Arsenal probably turned up today and thought, oh, you know, we're playing 90 minutes of football, we hope we get a result. It's not the cup final that is United. No. But I just hope it'll change. I hope that they all, because it just seems to be that this Man City fest that's happening, it's happening all over. It's not just, you know, United fans, it's pundits, it's even rival managers. They're all, oh, Guardiola this, Guardiola. It needs to stop, because if you just sit back and let it happen, then you're a victim of what it was. But you need to try and stop it. And there's only one manager out of the 20 in the Premier League that I think actually will take it seriously and want to stop him in his tracks. I think the others, and even Arsene Wenger, will turn around and clap it and go, oh, you know, we got beaten by the better team today. It's not the attitude at all.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I don't want to do a video about it because I don't want to give City the satisfaction, but I might just do a tactical video on how to beat Man City, because it's so bloody easy, but everyone refuses to do it. And in the words of Donald Trump, I think I'm going to start calling City fake club. Like he says fake news, I'm going to call them a fake club, because they're not real. They're not a real club, are they? They're just there's just something so unatmospheric about them. It really is. But they've won their game. I knew they were going to beat Arsenal, so I'm not bothered about it at all. And for anybody calling me bitter, I'm not bitter. I've been talking about it all week. There was just no way Arsenal were going to get a result today at all. What I am frustrated by is United fans who start going City, give City credit where it's due. I don't think you're a United fan if you're saying that. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Anyway, United have got to win. We're here to talk about United versus Chelsea. United have got to win, especially now City are 8 points clear of us. Effectively, if we draw, that's three results we've got to claw back. If we can keep it to 5, it's 2 results. So we've got to win. We've got to beat Chelsea. And looking at that Chelsea lineup, which I'll get back up for you now, we've got to do it, and I think we can. I don't think, Ross, there is any there can be any accusations that we're parking the bus with this lineup. I think that would be very, very unfair. And I think when you look at the Chelsea lineup there, I don't know anything about this Christensen at all. I don't even know if he's come through the youth setup. Do you? I have heard of him, but I don't know much about him. And again, I mean, I don't want to start digging Conte out, even though I would happily substitute the O for a U and call him that. He is, again, I think Chelsea's problem is Costa and Matic going. Morata's a good player, Bakayoko is suspect. But again, David Luiz, for the mistakes he's got in him, again, he's another quite experienced player in their team that he's fallen out with. They're primed. They're absolutely primed for the beating, I think.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. And it all stems from this Conte will he stay, will he go? And it's not good to have that kind of mentality around your club. And that's what they get. Now, that's another fake club, if you will, mercenary club that's got, oil money in it and, Russian money in this case. But Christensen, actually, I do know a little bit because I'm quite an avid football manager player, and he has been knocking around for quite a few years, actually, in Chelsea's youth setup. I think he's Danish. And he started out as kind of a John O'Shea, could play right back, left back, midfield. I think he did play quite a bit of midfield in Chelsea's youth, but he's settled in this season as quite a good centre back for them. And to be honest, I know you like David Luiz's experience, but he's got so many mistakes in him. But Christensen is a little bit more solid, and to be honest, he's probably a good centre back for Chelsea going forward. So he's decent. He's decent. I'll give him that. And to be honest, I think the weaker link out of the two is probably Gary Cahill, because I don't actually. Is he playing today, Cahill?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I watch him for England a lot, and he's always England's worst centre back, no matter who's playing next to him. So so many mistakes in Cahill, and you've got to get on him. And that's why Rashford's probably playing today over Martial, because corners, free kicks, we need to get that ball in the air, and we need to challenge them, because we've still got height. We've got Lukaku, we've got Matic. Let's start using it. We used it at the start of the season when we had Pogba. It's kind of gone a little bit flat for the minute, so I want to see some more use of that height.
Yeah. United line up on the screen there. De Gea, Bailly, Smalling, Jones. Going to be really interesting what we do with Hazard, because I think if you look at that Chelsea lineup, he is the only player that really causes me any concern. I mean, Morata's decent. I like Morata, but I'd rather have Lukaku now. Fabregas, good player, but he's not, he's not quick or anything like that. Hazard is the game changer there. And then the rest of them, it's very workmanlike. They've not got a lot of flair in there. And then I look at United, that back three I trust. The goalkeeper's the best goalkeeper in the world. Valencia and Young give us so much down the wings. I think Herrera will turn up. Matic has been fantastic. Lukaku, if he can get service, even if he doesn't, the work rate's there, as it is with Rashford. Mkhitaryan, we've spoken about him. He is massively, massively key in this game. I'm looking on the OneFootball app with this. The link is in the video description. It's free to download on Apple and Android. And what you need to do is, if you just go down to the matches bit at the bottom, you go to Chelsea versus Manchester United. You can also, this is the thing I wanted to show you there, who will win? Chelsea, Manchester United or draw? I'm going Manchester United win. 60% of people out of 130,000 votes say 60% saying Manchester United to win. So download the link in the video description and get your vote in. But 60% for United to win, Ross, is massive. Considering the fact, what I said before, which is also, I can't remember where I saw it, I think it was in the overview. Manchester United have not won, well, they've won 1 in 15 Premier League games at Stamford Bridge. So for people to be going United are going to win 60%, that sort of fills me with a bit of encouragement as well.
It's Jose Mourinho effect, isn't it? And I think that's where that extra, probably 20% comes from, to be honest, because Chelsea at home should be favourites to beat United, always, because that's just football, unfortunately. But it's annoying, Mkhitaryan, because I think he keeps getting picked. And do you know what? Hats off to him, because there's one thing he does do in his game, is that he keeps trying to do the same thing over and over, and it is trying to go forward. I think it'd be very easy for him to stat pad, go, all right, I'm playing crap, let's just get a few passes together and let's go a little bit negative. But to be fair to him, he always just try to turn and run at players. It's just at the minute, he can't do it, and he can't string a pass together. But I think that's what Jose's kind of rewarding him for in these consistent starts, is I can see what you're trying to do. You're just not doing it very well at all, but I obviously commend the effort, and hopefully he can turn it on, because if he does, we said it, I think the whole balance of this game relies on one man, and it's him. It's not Hazard, because I think he's easily shut out. It's whether Mkhitaryan fancies it today.
Yeah, I just want to say before you go, Ross, as well, Mata, we've put it out on the live comments, we've put it out on Twitter, and nobody has mentioned the word injury, and normally somebody knows something. Niall McManus, I don't agree with this, but it did make me laugh. He said he's so slow he's missed the bus. Again, I have to laugh at it, even though I find it offensive, because I'm a big fan of Mata. But it's all about banter and everything like that, so, fair play. But I don't get the criticism of Mata. I don't really understand the criticism of Herrera, but it is all about opinion. But I've always said about Mata, and we've had this chat many a time, that I think when you look over the Mourinho's period in charge of United, name me a more consistent player than Juan Mata. But he subs him off after 70 minutes in every game. And then today, in our biggest game, when he's fit, he doesn't even make the bench. McTominay and Fellaini does. I understand Fellaini, but McTominay's basically the same player. he must be injured. There can be no reason why Juan Mata would not be on that bench over McTominay. Fellaini, I understand. I think we've discussed that. But I can't understand why Mata's not there.
The one thing I've noticed with Jose is if he likes you, he likes you, and if he don't, he don't. And the players that he don't like, I think you have to consistently impress at a level of 110% to stay in his plans. And if you don't, you're out. And I think we see that with Matters, and there's a few other players we can probably mention. And then there's the other players that kind of don't perform every game, but they must be doing something behind the scenes because he picks them every week. And Mkhitaryan's one of them. Fellaini last season was definitely one of them. But this season, I think he's actually having one of his better seasons at United. I think he's kind of working his way into the team on credit for the first time in that I can see. But he has his favourites. He won't change. And I think if you get on the right side of him, it must be nice for a player to get that back in. Again, just the last version of that will be Chris Smalling, who I think is destined to fail at United, where Phil Jones cannot do nothing wrong in the United shirt in Jose Mourinho's eyes.
Yeah. You coming on at half-time, pal?
Yes, mate. I'll be about. Hopefully, a happy half-time as well.
Good. Okay, we'll get the Guinness down you, and I think we've got to win. I think we all agree with that. Speak to half-time, Ross.
Catch you later, mate. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, pal. And you can follow Ross on Twitter at Hazza90, which is at HAZZA90. Mad Marcus will be joining me within a minute. Apparently, Juan Mata might be ill. Then he must be. It makes no sense not to have him. I think even Mourinho would have him. So we need 1,000 likes before kickoff, says Simas. Spot on, pal. Please do drop a like on the video. If we any superstition we can take, whether it's Ross drinking his Guinness, or the fact that United stand most of the time when we get 1,000 likes before kickoff, we do win. If ever we need a win, we need a win today. So please smash that like button. Also, subscribe. We're very close to 146,000 subscribers. So do click the subscribe icon, the hologram in the bottom right-hand corner. Subscribe to United Stand if you are new. You found a fantastic community of fans. The live comments is always on the screen. We do say what we think. I'm sorry if I offended some people with my forthright thoughts on Manchester City, but they get on my nerves, and I don't agree with United fans saying credit where it's due. It's the half and half scarf brigade. Support your club. Have some rivalry. That's what football's all about. So yeah, look, fantastic channel. We've got a very busy day today as well. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Skype show. It's your show to Skype in. We've got loads of shows planned over the international break as well. We got fan cams from Stamford Bridge with Flex coming up. They'll probably be going up around 8:30 tonight. We've got Sunday Night Live at 8 o'clock. We've got a match reaction straight after this game, and we're live with you all the way through till full time. So loads going on the United Stand today. And as I click Marcus, and hopefully he joins me. Marcus, can you hear me?
I'm here, mate. Can you hear me all right?
I can, yeah. Let me just knock the volume up a tad. Before we get Marcus's thoughts, though, this is one of my favourite things I like to do on the watch-along. So do let us know in the live comments where you are watching from. Arslan, is that his name? Arslan? Yeah, Arslan. Very immature of me to laugh at somebody's name. I'm sorry for that, Arslan. We are... I'm going to do it again. Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? And we will give you a shout out and let everybody know just how great the Manchester United support is worldwide ahead of this massive game. So let us know where you're watching from. Nokishan Madla is watching from South Africa. Kickoff is in about 11 minutes time. Can Ireland qualify for the World Cup, says Patrick. I actually don't really care at the moment. Probably will care in about a day's time, but at the moment it's all about United versus Chelsea. Sweden, says Omar. Thailand, says Sharif. London, says Chad. Ireland, says Lorcan. Devon, says Angus. Jamaica, Manchester, Denmark, London, Antarctica, Grenada, Australia, Dubai, Cape Town, Sweden, Guyana, Jamaica, Southern California, Wolverhampton, Switzerland, India, Jamaica, Nepal, Queens, New York, Philadelphia, Norway, Egypt, Zimbabwe, Romania, Birmingham, Toronto, Pornhub, Riverside, California, your mum's house. She does a nice cup of tea. Hogwarts, Wales, Estonia, Zimbabwe, Arizona, Bristol, Wakefield, Denmark, Chester, Chicago, South Africa, Alabama. Look, Kenya, India, Namibia, Sydney, what I'm basically making the point as, if you did that on a City channel, you'd look if you have 5 people watching and they'd probably be all around the same house. So this just shows, in relation to Manchester United, the worldwide support we have around this club. You're all bloody fantastic. Keep spreading the word about Manchester United and the United Stand, and let's keep growing this massive support we have for this fantastic club. And hopefully today, Marcus, they're going to deliver a big result for us. What do you think about the team, and what do you think about United's chances?
I'm very excited with the team. I think the formation is spot on. But I agree with you and Ross about the Mkhitaryan debate. It's a big gamble for Jose to play him. He's not in form. He's not had the greatest 3-4 games, the last 3 or 4 games. So it is a massive gamble for him. I hope he pulls it off, and I think a game as big as this, it's if he can come good, then this is the game that he could do it in. And I do fancy a United win for this. Like you said, the Chelsea team doesn't strike any fear into me. It shouldn't strike any fear into the United team either. If they're going to play Kante, that's a risk for them. He's just come back from a hamstring injury, missed the last 3 or 4 games for him. So our midfield, Matic, I think he can do the job. And he's got a point to prove going back to his old stamping ground. But yeah. I'm very surprised Mata is not on the bench. Very surprised at that.
Apparently he might be ill. Kwame's just messaged me through my Twitter account to tell me that, and I did see him say it on the link on the video description as well.
Okay.
Apparently he is ill. If that is the case, it does make sense, because McTominay and Fellaini are effectively the same sort of option. So why would you do both? I'm just looking at the OneFootball app. The link is in the video description. It's available on Android and Apple. It's free. I'm just having a quick look at some of the news. Luis dropped by Antonio Conte for Chelsea versus Manchester United. Let's have a look if there's anything else. Kickoff times. No, that's fine. 60%. If you cast your votes in the matches section, go to matches. Go to Chelsea versus Manchester United. You can cast your vote on who you think is going to win. 60% of people think United are going to win it. I hope they're right. Lineups, Chelsea there. I don't know who's on the Chelsea bench. Oh no, we do. See you all. So they've got Willy Carbello, Rudiger, Drinkwater, Pedro, William, Batshuayi, and Pod. Again, it's not massively strong. It's not massively strong, and that's the Chelsea lineup as well. I'm not massively concerned about it. We'll see.
I mean, they don't. If Morata has a poor game here, there's not really anyone on the bench that can fill that gap if he pulls up injured again or anything like that.
Yeah.
Willian and Pedro are obviously the main ones for Chelsea, but we got the big man back. Marouane's back.
He's an option. Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah, I mean this is probably the sort of game where if we are chasing the game, hopefully we're not, then you chuck the big man up and go route one and see what happens.
Just looking through on the OneFootball as well, you can get your lineups and the predicted formations. So theirs is slightly different to ours, I think. But you can get your stats once the game starts up and running as well, which we'll refer to during the game. So do get involved with the OneFootball app. Obviously, we've been linked with them for quite a while on United Stand, and it is a good app for all that lot. But Marcus, I'm going to ask you to interact with the United Stand faithful for 2 minutes, because as predicted, when it's a big game, I need to urinate. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, all right then, guys. Let's get your score predictions in then. I'm going to go for a 2-1 United win. I think that's the safest way. I do think United are going to win this game, and I do think it's going to be by the odd goal. So 2-1 win for me. Let's see what you guys think. Starting lineup as well. I'm not liking De Gea's hairstyle as he's in the tunnel here at the minute. Valencia captain again, which is a good sign. So a bit of consistency with the captaincy coming out, and hopefully, here we go. They're coming out of the tunnel. So what do you guys think about Rashford and Lukaku up top together? Again, I think we did it in the last game, didn't we, against Spurs? Jose's just on the side here. shaking the hands of. Oh, he didn't shake Eden Hazard's hand there. Interesting, considering he was a major part of downing tools when Mourinho got the sack. So they're just coming out onto the pitch. Hopefully Chris Smalling has a good game here as well. I mean, we know the last time we went to Stamford Bridge, he was at fault for all four. So, you back, Mark, here? No,
back.
He's not back. Yeah, you're back. Yeah, okay.
Let me just sort the timer out. One thing I haven't asked you, Marcus, what are you going with score prediction-wise? I've
just said to the comments there, I'm going to go with a 2-1. I think United are going to win this, but it's going to be by the odd goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2-1 for me is the safest.
I think that's what I've been saying all week, but I'm also going to go with the 2-1 to United, and it's encouraging that so many people think we're going to win, like 60% on the One Football app vote with 130,000 votes. I mean, that's pretty significant when that many people think we're going to win, when we've only won once in 15 Premier League games at Stamford Bridge. So the stats are against us, but I just think Chelsea are weaker. They are weaker than last season, simply because we've got Matic. Costa's a good player as much as he was an arsehole. He's a good player. I think Conte's ego is drastically causing Chelsea problems. And I'm probably jumping the gun a little bit here, but I have said to Flex, when we beat Chelsea later, make sure you get a few bitter Chelsea fans on the fan cams as well, because we could do with a laugh. But that's obviously going to come back and bite me now, and I never should have said it. I should have thought it. But because it's a football game at the end of the day, and they are the home team, so who knows? A bad refereeing decision, 2 silly yellow cards for Herrera in the first half. Anything could go wrong. But I just hope I feel we've got to win this game, and I think we will.
Yeah, I think we will. Like I said earlier, I don't think there's anything to fear. I mean, obviously the one standout player they got is Hazard, and I think if you place Herrera on him like we did at Old Trafford, the game that you was watching, I think if we put Herrera on him, it's going to, Matic is going to be very thin then in the midfield. It's going to be their 3 against our 1.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can do that at all. So I can see Jose saying to him, look, just play your game, play it tight, get through the first 20 minutes, and then we'll go from there. If we get to half time and it's still 0-0 or 1-1, we're still in the game. And then second half, we got the option on the bench, which is Fellaini and Martial.
Yeah, I think that's a massive bonus for Manchester United to have that Martial option, and I'm glad that there's not really a meltdown about Martial not starting. I totally agree with everybody. I'm a big Martial fan, and I do feel that he is the best player that we have, flair player. But in a game like this away from Chelsea, I love Rashford and I love Martial, and I don't think we could play both of them. You can't play both of them unless you're going to drop Lukaku in a 3-5-2, because the only width is coming from the fullbacks, which is Young and Valencia. So you can only play 2 out of the 3. Lukaku's obviously got to play. And then Rashford, I think he just trusts Rashford a little bit more effort-wise. But also, I think, as you said there, Marcus, Martial, just because he's on the bench, it doesn't necessarily mean he's a second-rate citizen. He really will be viewed as, last half an hour, I need you to come on and do something significant. So, Draughty's with us. He says, I just want a United win. And I think we've not discussed that today at all, but it's true. I don't care if it's 0-0. Fellaini comes on, trips over, and it goes in off his nose or his knob. I don't mind. I don't. As long as we have 3 points at the end of the game, it doesn't matter whether we beat them 5-0 or we beat them 1-0. To stay within 5 points of City is significant. A draw will put it to 7, which is 3 results. We need to keep it. And pressures. I think Chelsea are under pressure as well. I do think they're under pressure. They're playing this Christensen. Don't know anything about him. Kante's been forced to come back, probably a little bit early. So, yeah, Matthew McFadden's made a contribution. Since Marcus Rashford started primary school, United have only won 1 game in the league at Stamford Bridge. Let's make it 2 today.
I think there is a lot of pressure on United here, because, as Ross said earlier, I think the last time we won at the Bridge was Sir Alex's last season in charge. I think it was. If I remember rightly, it was a 3-2 win. So, it's a good few years since we've had a decent result here, and the time is now. I think after that Huddersfield result, if we'd have won the game, a point may not have been so bad here today. But seeing as we lost to Huddersfield, I think the 3 points is massive.
Yeah, we've got
really
to
is
stay
massive.
within 2 results of City, and that means we've got to win this game. Martial and Fellaini actually sat next to each other on the bench. They could both be very significant later on in this game. It's just about to kick off. But for United, when you think to last season when we lost 4-0, we lost the game in the first 10 minutes. I'm not saying let's go defensive because I don't think that's a good idea. But we've got to, keep our head in the first 20 minutes of this and not gift the ball away. We're off anyway. The time is up and we're off. And it's game on time.
So we are playing from left to right. Chelsea not had a touch of the ball yet, but only the first 30 seconds. So Mourinho looks quite comfortable, sat in his chair.
Yeah, they are comfy seats there, quite soft.
Yeah. Apparently Mourinho's not won in his last 10 away games at Chelsea. Interesting.
At Chelsea?
Apparently so. That's what's just come up.
All right.
Whether
says that Mourinho's parking the bus. I can tell you straight away. He's probably trying to wind people up, but we're definitely not parking the bus because Rashford and Lukaku are playing on their last line of defence, and Mkhitaryan's definitely playing as a number 10. The thing about a 3-5-2 that people might not understand is that, and there's a foul straight away on Morata. I hope it's not going to be a booking. No, he's banging the floor. I think Smalling had every right to go for that. But yeah, the thing about a 3-5-2 is you can't park the bus. He's ripped his shirt as well. You can't park the bus in a 3-5-2. You can with a 5-3-2, which is what we did against Swansea in the League Cup when we played Darmian and Blind, who aren't expansive fullbacks. But we're playing Valencia and Young today. And Chelsea are playing quite defensive when you look at their lineup. And giving them a free kick here was a bit of a shame. But Kante shoots and goes through a crowd.
Dave's got it, yep.
So, game on, boys, says 222 Damien. If you are new to the United Stand, don't forget to subscribe through the hologram in the bottom right-hand corner. You found a fantastic community to get involved with. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We will be live again, Sunday night live at 8 o'clock tonight. Quick turnarounds because it's 4:30 kickoff. So, finish around 6:30, match reaction from me, back live at 8 o'clock with Sunday Night Live, and then fan cams will be coming in from Flex, who's at the ground for the United Stand as well. So, busy night, and we'll be busy over the international break as well. We don't shut down because of these irrelevant international breaks. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Skype Goldbridge, so you can all Skype in, and hopefully you won't be meltdowning about a loss today. We'll be optimistic. I said it before, Marcus, and it may not matter at all, but even if we win this game, I know we'll still be 5 points behind City, but I think if we win this game, the momentum and the people like Pogba and Zlatan to come back, I know it's still 5 points, but I'd be confident we can win this league. But we've got to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on this result today. Obviously, Arsenal, we expected them to lose against City, so they've not done us any favours whatsoever. But everyone will be, the papers will be up Pep's backside tomorrow as normal, talking about the 3 goals that they put past Arsenal, even if United get the result today.
Is Young coming down the left?
Yeah.
He's won an early corner.
Won a corner, that's it.
You see, straight away you can see from the United formation, the 3-5-2, and it was why I was saying all week, and a lot of you lot were saying it as well, that if this formation works against Spurs, who are one of the 2 best teams in the league at the moment, then of course it can work against Chelsea. And I'm so pleased that we've kept it, because I think Valencia and Young cause teams all sorts of problem. 2 people up front, 3 at the back. You don't get swamped in the midfield. I said it back in the US tour. I love the 3-5-2 because it's like cheating in a way. You get everywhere covered without overexposing yourself. And I hope we play it more and more. And the encouraging thing is, in our 2 biggest games of the season, Spurs and now Chelsea, we have played this formation. So hopefully we will see it more and more. Because I think it's actually probably made more for Zlatan and Lukaku up front. But whether that will work or not, I don't know. But going back to what Marcus was saying there, the momentum of going to somewhere like Chelsea and winning would be huge confidence. And then you'd expect Pogba to come back and Zlatan to come back, and yeah.
Rojo as well, to shore up the defence. Not that it needs shoring up at the minute because we've got the best defence in the league, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the 3-5-2 as well, Mark, especially when you're using it against teams that like to play out from the back, from the goalkeeper, it allows you to push up that extra 5-10 yards to put the pressure on the opponent's defence. So they've got to play the ball out quick. Just like there, it's a throw into Chelsea and he's absolutely just give it away to United. So, yeah, we can afford to go up that extra 5-10 yards. There's no need to sit that deep against this Chelsea side.
No. Sean Atwood's made a contribution. He says, I would love it if Matic scored today. I mean, already Matic has started off very, very comfortably. He knows the ground. I thought Matic was just on another level in that second half against Spurs. And if he gets into that groove again, and he should do, we need Herrera to have a good game, obviously, and he's just done very well there, switching the
He's fantastic pass.
But it is fantastic all United at the moment. But I think, again, Chelsea, the home team, they are still the champions of England, and they are a decent side, but...
Ref.
That is giving a bloody throw-in. This is what we're up against. But they did get absolutely hammered in Rome, 3-0, and they've not had a great start to the season. Watford should have beat them, and they bottled it in the last 10 minutes in their last home game here. So,
yeah, they are beatable. They aren't a fantastic team at all. I mean, they got one or two great individual players. Phil Jones.
He's been fouled. He was pushed by Morata and he volleyed it into his own goal by Phil Jones. It was a definite push. Fair
play to the referee there for calling that decision. I saw decisions today in the other game that would not have been given otherwise. Yeah, the penalty especially.
I don't know whether Phil Jones did volley it in or Morata, but yes, it's definitely a foul.
Yeah, he's pushed him in the back there, yeah. Yeah, it's Phil Jones, mate.
Yeah, it was an own goal.
Yeah, he's put his hands on his back. He's sort of like kneed him up the backside as well.
Someone do a gif of Conte there. You little prat. Celebrating.
I'll tell you what, Morata, he's got in late. That's the second tackle he's done there, where he's got in late.
Yeah. Well, remember Morata, I like Morata, and I think Morata's got a lot to prove, hasn't he? I mean, people won't accept it, but Chelsea wanted Lukaku and United wanted Morata, and it just because of politics and Real Madrid's reluctance to let Morata come to United, it ended up going the other way, and I'm glad it did. But in the summer I was a big fan of Morata. I think he's a good player, so we'll have our work cut out today, but I think he will have a point to prove, and hopefully Lukaku will as well. Yeah,
I mean, not only is it United versus Chelsea,
good
absolute
turn by
massive.
Worked really well. Now we switch it to Young. Got a little bit of something going on here. Cross comes in.
Good ball in.
Over the bar, Rashford.
Oh, unlucky.
It was good play there from Mkhitaryan. I don't know whether...
Yeah, we got...
If Rashford's onside there, which he is, he's got to do a little bit better there.
That's a chance. That is a chance. Courtois in no man's land there, coming out for it. But, Lukaku against Morata, Jose against Conte. A lot of things to look out for in this game today. Hazard's just done a nasty foul there on Herrera.
Well, Herrera likes to take a little bit of a tumble, doesn't he? But let's have a look.
Well, I mean, considering the FA Cup game, Mark.
On his foot.
Stamped on his foot. I mean, Hazard did it against him in the FA Cup last season, so...
I agree. I think we're playing really well. Lots of people in the comments. Ref looks like he's had a good start as well. Been a couple of fouls he could have given bookings away. Obviously, it was a foul on Phil Jones. I was quite happy. I mean, again, early days again, could come back and haunt us a bit. But Anthony Taylor, I don't really know loads about him, and I think as a referee, that's always a good thing. But a good start from United 10 minutes in. Look, it's a difficult game for us. It's difficult. They are the champions. They are at home. They are one of the top teams in the league, and they're on the attack here with Hazard. But United have started off well.
Come on, Smalling, stand him up.
That's it. We'll win it back now.
Yeah, we got it. Ball out to the right hand side here. Lukaku's on.
And that's the thing. We've got, you think about even last season under Mourinho, but previous seasons under Van Gaal, they've got 3 centre backs. We've got 2 forwards. It's and we are playing 2 genuine forwards in this game, which is fantastic to see. Plenty of people watching today. If you are new to United Stand, make sure you click that subscribe button. Independent Manchester United fan channel, live every night at 8 o'clock. Skype show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Got some really good shows planned for you over the international break. But I think a lot of the mood over the international break is going to be dictated to if we can win this game. I don't feel a point is what we need. I'm not going to say a point's a bad result, because at Chelsea, you never know how it's going to go. But I do sort of think that Huddersfield result means we've got to win here today. And also, because City are now 8 points clear, we need to keep it to 2 results, which means we've got to win. We've got to win and keep it at 5 points. And we've certainly started off quite well.
We have. We were, a lot of teams come to Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea try and intimidate them, don't they, in their own little way. But United, I think they've started here like they're the home team. Want to silence the crowd, force Chelsea into the mistakes, which we've done quite a few times. Here's a problem here. Phil Jones across.
Oh, what a miss!
Right.
What a miss by Bakayoko. He should have buried that. It's a bit slack by United, really. They get him down the right. I think it's Zabacosta, is it? Or is it Aspilicueta? Cross comes in. Smalling should get there. Drops to Bakayoko. And realistically, I think that's the chance of the game so far.
Yeah.
Smalling too busy holding on to shirts again. And Bakayoko, from there, he should be doing better. But it's a let-off for United, and it would have been a soft goal, really.
I'll worry about Smalling for this game. I mean, that's the second time there he's got hold of Morata. The ref's going to pick him out for it sooner rather than later, I think.
Smalling's always been like that, though. I mean, I like Smalling, but he does always grab shirts. What was I going to say? From what I've seen in relation to Hazard, because I think that was one of the things we were all talking about before the game in relation to the tactics, it looks like Eric Bailly is sort of keeping an eye on Hazard. But again, they're in here. Look, we're getting a bit caught out here. Bakayoko again. And it goes wide. I think it'll be a corner. But they seem to be getting in between our midfield and back four here. That's Herrera, I think, who's losing Bakayoko.
I'm looking there. Where is Phil Jones? Nowhere to be seen.
I mean, we don't want that. We've started off really well, but we don't want I mean, this is where it went wrong last season. Defensive switching off. De Gea punches clear. But look, regardless of how good Chelsea are, we lost at Huddersfield. So, anybody can beat anybody. But I just feel if we can get ahead in this game, Chelsea are a side that is lacking confidence at the moment.
Here we go. Rashford's on his way down the left. Here
we go. Still picked it up.
Yep. Herrera's got it.
No foul. Ref doesn't give it.
Well, he was having his shirt tugged there.
Well in, Matic. No messing around. It's cooking. It's bubbling up. It's bubbling up. Matthew McFadden, thanks for the contribution. This is Bakayoko. Looks like the result of randomise option when making a character in a video game. It is definitely bubbling up a bit, and I think Chelsea actually we've probably been the victims of our own sort of success there, because that we started off really well, but I think that chance for Bakayoko has sort of got the crowd up a bit when we were on top, and I think we just need to slow it down a little bit and keep hold of the ball.
Phil Jones is being pulled out of position. I mean, that's 2 or 3 times now already in the first 14 minutes. And that is where Chelsea's attacks have come from. Jones seems to be pushing up a lot more, or being taken to the ball, and he's not really paying attention at the minute.
I tell you what, I'm going to hang my hat on this. I think if United keep this tempo up, we're going to win.
Definitely.
I think we look the better team. I've never seen us start like this at Stamford Bridge. I'm confident. I just think we could do with getting the first goal. And I think as long as we don't make mistakes and keep this tempo up, I think we can win this game. I mean, I said it in the preview. I think even if it's 0-0 with 70 minutes to go, you look at the formations, and I just think somebody like Anthony Martial in the last 20 minutes will have a bit of a field day.
That's the danger, isn't it?
Mkhitaryan's got to be better there. He's won it back.
It's almost as if Mkhitaryan just wants too much time on the ball at the minute. He's got to get more involved in this game. A lot hinges on him today.
Yeah, he's not had a brilliant start, but he's not had a bad start. He's just switched the play there. And, Mkhitaryan, I think he can come good at some point, but I just think United fans are just like, he's so out of form at the moment. Do you risk him in a game like this? I hope Mourinho gets it right. He gets a lot right.
Yep. Well, he's picking the balls up. He's playing a simple pass. Get some touches. Get a bit of confidence in your play. Matic's just done fantastic there. Go on, Lukaku.
Oh, good save.
Unlucky.
Says Lukaku.
He's punched it out. Still got it. Oh.
I thought a good turn by Lukaku, and on his left foot as well. I thought, here we go. But good save, Cartes. He hit it low, to be fair, which is always harder for a keeper to get down to. Oh, it's rocking, lads. It's rocking, girls. Let's keep it going. Oh,
good switch there from Matic. Oh, he's give that as a foul. Come on. But first sight of goal for Lukaku. And again, Mkhitaryan was involved in that bit of play as well that led to the shot.
Yeah.
So he's got to get more involved here to feed the big man up top. Positive there as well. Rashford was running in, looking for a rebound, and he scraps.
Oh, we've got George is on as the moderator today. George, we've got Drawty on as well. All right, lads. But yeah, we're doing really well. Doing really well. Jared Pesserman, thanks for the contribution. He says, don't think I've been more nervous for a game in years. Well, we were like this last week, weren't we, Marcus, for the Spurs game as well. I mean, this is why we love football, to be honest. It's these sort of tense games are what it's all about. But United have look. I can't give you the score in this game. I said it in the preview. I can't. It's a big game. I couldn't give you the score in the game against Spurs. But as long as we keep this tempo up and we keep working hard like this, then we can win this game. But we don't have a great record at Chelsea. See, Bakayoko seems to be the player getting a lot of space. He gets a shot away there. Herrera closes him down quick. But yeah, I feel it. I do. These are the games. It is tense. It is nervous.
I'm hoping United can keep this pace up for the full 90 minutes because the closing down on the edge of the box has been superb.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Bakayoko's got it there and he's shaping up for a shot, Herrera's the first one out there, get his body in front of the ball. Phil Jones did it about 10 minutes ago, I think.
Corner to Chelsea. They've refused the cross, but they've still got it. Saved by De Gea. Is that a goal? Side netting.
Yeah, go.
I don't know what we're doing there, letting Hazard get a run in and get a shot on. I'd like to see that again. So it skips Mkhitaryan. It's Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan stands him up and he just drops the shoulder and gets away from him, and it's a free shot through a crowd. And to be fair to De Gea, I mean, he's palmed it away, but there's not much he can do there. But that's poor from Mkhitaryan, and then side netting from Fabregas for the follow-up. So I'd say
dangerous
because we've been on top, but Chelsea probably have had the two best chances of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, Rashford Chelsea. I mean that. Yeah, I mean we've had Rashford, we've had Lukaku. They've had the chance there, and then Bakayoko missed from just inside the area, wasn't it? So yeah, I mean, two fairly decent chances each. So we're not being outmatched or outplayed in any way. We're giving as good as Chelsea can get. So Oh,
We don't want Herrera picking up a yellow card.
no,
We all know
I
what happens there.
yeah, I thought he would have got a yellow for that, but he's gone for the ball. In fairness to him, Bakayoko hasn't made a meal out of it.
Bakayoko, to be fair to him, has actually started off quite well in this game, and he's just gone through Phil Jones there, and he is going to get a yellow card, which is probably a bit unfair. Well, I'm not going to say unfair because I'm not a Chelsea fan, but he did just get clattered by Herrera, and let's watch it back. I think he's got every right to go for the ball, and
right.
I don't think that's a yellow card, to be fair. I think it's a bit of a shame because I think that means next time United do a foul like that, we'll get a yellow card as well.
Oh, so far he's probably looked Chelsea's most dangerous threat, I think.
Yeah, Kante's been very quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah. Hazard obviously dropped the shoulder just now and skipped past Mkhitaryan, but it's been Bakayoko running from the midfield that has been causing us a problem.
Sky seem to want to show the Phil Jones own goal a little bit too much for me. I mean, it's the most blatant foul we'll ever see. I hope we're not. I hope we're not.
I mean, Lukaku's having a moment. Yeah.
I don't know what. I didn't see that. It was Kante. Oh, that's going to hurt. Stamped him right on the foot. He could be in trouble there, you know.
I mean, in all fairness, if Bakayoko's just picked up a yellow, you know, if we're running through Jones, then Kante could have picked one up there.
Could have done. I don't think Bakayoko should have been injured. Should have been given a yellow card, to be fair. But yeah, I think in the context of that, then yeah.
So we've got a free kick on the left-hand side, which Rashford's going to take.
He's took it early.
Yeah. Unlucky, unlucky. Matic was onside. He's having his shirt pulled as he's making the run as well. It's a bit of a strange one having Rashford on free kicks, don't you think? When we got Mkhitaryan, who's a set piece, and Herrera, who can deliver a good ball. I think
that's one of the reasons.
Even Ashley Young.
Ross has said it a few times. It's one of the big reasons that Rashford gets picked over Martial, because he has got the ability to hit a cross and a free kick. I've said it so many times. Mourinho wanted Perisic in the summer. I think if we'd got Perisic, it would have been a big boost for us. It's funny actually. There's a journalist who covers La Liga, and I saw his tweet from yesterday, and it said he was talking about Andres Pereira, and he said, "I don't think there's a better crosser of the ball in La Liga than Andres Pereira."
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
Well, it's a good job we don't need somebody who can cross the ball, then, isn't it? You know, we desperately missed somebody who can put a cross into the box.
It's a shame he's gone, because I do think he would have had his chance. I really do.
Samuel says that Mkhitaryan's playing good. I think he definitely is playing good in relation to how he's played over the last month or so, which wouldn't have been hard. But you know, we do need him to turn up in this game, and we're not carrying him, which is the main thing. Another foul there. Bakayoko.
It's Bakayoko again. Do you know what? I mean, yeah, a lot of people thought in the summer when he came to Chelsea he was going to play the CDM role because of Matic going, but he's playing probably the furthest forward at the midfield.
We've got fan cams going up tonight, and we've got the 8 o'clock show tonight. So whatever the result, make sure you're tuning into the United Stand later on, whether it's just dipping in to watch the fan cams or watching the 8 o'clock show. I think this game is pivotal for our season, and it feels weird to say that when the game's actually being played, because it's all about the hype, isn't it? But it is. If we lose it, I think fans are probably going to react. You know, we know how people will react. I think if we win it, I think we've got to win it, and I think if we do win it, it ticks so many positive boxes for United, with the likes of Pogba, Zlatan, Rojo to come back. The fact that we, you know, very rarely win at the Bridge, I think it will give the team a lot of confidence after what's been a difficult October. But Chelsea starting, you know, I'd say the first 10-20 minutes was ours. And I'd say for the last 5 minutes or so, Chelsea starting to build confidence. It's a shame. Well, we didn't really have a chance in the first 10-15 minutes, but it would have been nice to have got a goal and sort of play on their nervousness, because they did get hammered in the week in Rome.
Oh, they did, yeah. Smalling worried me a bit there. You know, he's not looking behind him to see where Morata was, so he's left it to Bailey to mop up for him.
There's a good comment just there from Apple. Says, I think they're using Bakayoko a bit like how we use Fellaini, and I do think I think if Fellaini was fit, Fellaini would be playing in this game, and I would probably play him instead of Mkhitaryan, and that's nothing. You know, Mkhitaryan's, you know, before the game I would have said yeah, definitely, because Mkhitaryan's been poor, but in this game he's done okay. But I do think that physicality is big, because Chelsea are quite a physical side.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a fair amount of tall players in there as well, so they're probably beating us for height in the middle.
Just in a aerial duel there, only going to be one winner.
Get up, he didn't even touch her. I mean, the good thing is Hazard's having to come into his own half to pick the ball up, but he can run past 3 players without a problem.
Yeah, it's pretty much Eric Bailly's dealing with Hazard.
Yeah.
Bishwa says, how's the game going? In my opinion, I think, you know, Chelsea's always a battle, as we know, because we don't have a great record there. And in the context of all the games I've seen United play at Chelsea, I think it's a very equal game. It reminds me a lot of the Spurs game. I think it's a better game than the Spurs game, but it reminds me of that in the fact that there's not a lot in it. And I suppose I do worry that because we won it last week and we were the home team, is it going to go with the home team again? But we probably need to create a little bit more in the final third. I think Chelsea have had a couple of chances and we've only had one from Rashford. Well, that Lukaku shot as well. But we do need to impose ourselves in the final third a bit. But having said that, I'll be happy if it was like this on 70 minutes and you bring Martial on. I think it's that sort of game.
I think, again, I'm noticing we're going down the right-hand side an awful lot. We're not using that left. You know, Ashley Young, I think he's only put one crossing from the left-hand side. Rashford's obviously had the free kick out there, but everything, again, is coming out to Valencia.
Yeah.
And I suppose that...
a bit in this game. I'm just going to stretch my back out a bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem that we got with not getting Perisic, is it? We don't have that natural wide player out there.
Yeah.
But Bakayoko, again, he's in. Lays it back. Hazard's picked it out. Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, Bay, get in there.
Bakayoko is he's actually done alright, to be fair. I think Lukaku needs to do a little bit more. He needs to put himself around a bit.
Yeah.
You know, Rashford's doing well, closing it out, and I don't think that's a foul by Bay on Hazard at all. But ref's giving it, play to the whistle. It's a quick half an hour anyway. Always is in a tense game, I suppose.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's been, yeah. There's been nothing dirty about it, nothing cynical. Evenly contested match. But overall, Chelsea have probably had the better chances. But in terms of the play, I think we're the better team here.
Yeah, for an away performance, it's been quite good. We're probably just lacking that goal. Oh, look at me, I've gone really small. Move the camera.
I mean, Conte, we're seeing him here on the sidelines. He doesn't look like he's got a plan B at all. You know, he's all fingers and thumbs, that bloke. Not seen Rashford do too much in this half, apart from the header. Herrera and Bakayoko are having a good battle. Well, Mkhitaryan's gone down there a bit too easily. Mickey, come on. Well, Lukaku's got it, but No one's in the box.
Still a bit low.
Yeah. Herrera's picked it up. Oh. Right, Ashley Young out on the left here. Into Herrera. Nah, he's not following the run. Ah, corner. Yeah, well done, Ashley.
Hey, Beck's here. Hey, Beck. Hope football went okay. A few people saying, can you show us the game? Look, it's a watch-along. The watch-along started about 18 months ago because people on the United stand says, can you go live when there's a game on? Which is what we do. We've got the timer. We can give you the score. We can tell you what's happening, but we can't show you the game footage. It's illegal. The Premier League have the rights, and we don't have spare billions of pounds to pay for those rights. So we can't show you the game. But we can certainly keep you updated with what's going on. And effectively, the watch-along isn't about that. It's about, you know, what we've got, 4,000 people watching a stream together, feeling the tensity of the game. And at the moment, I want to be at 6:30 coming out of this game with 3 points, and I don't care how we get it. Drawty said it at the start. We've all said it. But the way it's going at the moment, it's on a knife edge. It's really, really equal. I would say Chelsea have probably come back into it over the last 10 minutes, but before that United were sort of above without creating loads of chances, but just keeping more of the ball. I think it's very 50-50 at the moment, Marcus.
It is, yeah. I mean, it seems to have died down a bit now. United are just trying to control the possession at the back. You know, probably feeling Chelsea getting into the game a bit too much, so quieten down a bit. Saying that, Herrera's just give the ball away.
I felt with that pass from Herrera there, it's caused a lot of problems because he was it's a shot straight at the head. He went for a pass that would have been a Hollywood pass. It's like it's not going to come off, and then Fabregas gets it in a good position. And but I look at that Chelsea side, and apart from Hazard, I don't really see that flair player that's going to do something that should cause our defence problems, because we've got the best goalkeeper in the world and we've got the best defence in the league. So it's a very strong platform to build upon. And then you've got people like Matic and Herrera in the midfield who, if they're on their game, they're very, very strong. Chelsea getting a little bit lucky there with the second ball, but here's Morata looking. You know, we've got lots of players back.
But it is a workmanlike performance so far. First 32 minutes. Yeah, we are getting in their faces, trying to force a mistake out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Hazard's cutting inside here. Look, there's no ball on for him to play. So
there we go. Turn, Mickey. Find a pass.
Here we go.
Go on, Rashford.
Oh,
he's a good player, Aspilicueta, to be fair.
Yeah.
Eric Bay is on Hazard, says Active Dan. Yeah, he is. Fabregas is capable of special quality, says. Yeah, Fabregas is capable of special quality, but he's not that sort of player who's going to pick it up in the centre circle, run past 4 or 5 players. He's not a flair player for me. He's a creator. And Young, why is he not?
It's a foul, ref, isn't it? Come on. Huh?
It's put us in trouble, that ref.
Right, Caulfield James.
The cutbacks there. Valencia needed to do better there, but
bit of a slice clearance. Chelsea still in control of the ball.
Hazard's just getting a lot of the ball at the moment. But yeah, he should be booked for that.
He should be,
how does Morata not get booked for that? It's a total dive.
Should have been a yellow. Oh, Lukaku. No. Throwing to Chelsea on the right hand side in their half, so should no danger.
Last 10 minutes, Chelsea have had 65% of the possession. If people's interested in that. 10 minutes to half time. Good tackle. Matic just picked it up as well there. Oh, Lukaku, you've got to get yourself and hold the ball up. It's not sticking, is it? It's not sticking with
it's not,
Lukaku
no.
at the moment, and that's a bit of a problem.
Apologies if you can hear fireworks in the background.
Well, what are you up to?
Oh no, it's just the next door neighbours, mate. I'm doing mine after the game.
Link in the video description for the One Football app. If you go to matches and then you go to Chelsea versus Manchester United 0-0, then you can go to stats over here and it will give you all the stats of the game so far, which I just wanted to have a quick look at as Smalling clears across. So it's 50-50 more or less in relation to possession, which in the top, again, when it's the top side, you'd pretty much expect that. Chelsea winning slightly more duels, aerial duels, they're winning more of those, which to me suggests we're playing a lot of long balls from the back. 2 corners each for 2. Total shots, they've had 8, we've had 4. Shots on target 2-1. Tackles in defence, it's pretty even. Distribution, ours is slightly worse than theirs on general pass accuracy, and fouls conceded pretty equal. Link in the video description for the One Football app. It's free to download on Apple and Android, and you can get all your stats on the match during the match on there. But it's quite an equal game, as we said.
It is, yeah. I mean, not, you know, obviously Chelsea being the home team, you would have expected them to come out and really put their authority on there.
I think
but
they
haven't.
To take control a little bit. Another shot from them there with not much done. I think United need to do a little bit more in the final third. Young's just lost the 50-50 with Kante there. And we just need to ride this out at the moment because Chelsea's starting to get ahead. And Mkhitaryan, from a good first 15 minutes, is becoming that passenger player again, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He seems to have faded out of the game again. You know, Rashford as well. He's not really been involved, considering he's the outlet for us. You think with his pace and that, he would try and create something, but apart from the header, there's been nothing else really. He's very quiet.
Into Fabregas there, and Herrera's there to clear. A lot of long balls from United in the last 10 minutes or so.
I mean, this is the thing here. We get a mistake out of him.
No. Quarter to 12 clears it. Herrera wins it. Oh, well done, Valencia. Mistake by Alonso, tried to keep it in. Oh,
dangerous.
In,
and, lucky.
It's not quite worked out.
A lot of people in the comments saying Chelsea are going to win it. I wouldn't be so sure.
I think Chelsea have definitely, to be fair, they are in the ascendancy slightly, if you can be in the ascendancy in a game like this, because it's on a knife edge, but they've definitely stepped it up in the last few minutes. But I think United could do with half time.
I think Jose will be quite pleased with what he's seen so far.
Give us your thoughts in the comments, because we're all watching the game, or most of us are, and we'll all have different sort of opinions of how things are going. Definitely happy with the formation of United. Jury's still out on Mkhitaryan. I think he was always going to be the divider. Good first 15 minutes, but it's his work ethic bothers me, and his lack of physicality in a game like this. But we do have options on the bench. We do have options on the bench with the likes of Martial, and I would hope if Fellaini's on the bench, that means he can be used. Because I still think that a corner here for Chelsea. I'm starting to feel now that Chelsea is starting to step up a little bit, and we might need to just to get through till half time.
Yeah. I mean, looking at Chelsea's bench, I'm not fearful of that Batshuayi lad.
Oh, good chance for Chelsea there.
Yeah. But they are starting to get the chances fall for them now. United, you've got to be wary of this.
He should have scored that.
He should have. That was
Chelsea
a good
should have
chance.
scored there. He's right on the 6-yard line. He's up and he hits it with his shoulder, and he's, you know, it's a free header. I don't know what is going on there. United defensively. And that sort of chance worries me really, because I think it has been very equal. But that, he should have scored that, and then it's 1-0, isn't it? So
yeah,
he didn't know. You know, he didn't. Lukaku's not dealing with this Christensen at all well in relation to aerial duels at the moment. They are getting the better of Rashford and Lukaku. I think the front two need to man up a little bit.
I can see Rashford coming off in the second half. I don't think he's done at all well in this first half, apart from the header.
I think he should have done better with that header as well, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, as a partner for Lukaku in this game, I just don't think he's been supportive enough. But yeah, again, you could take that back to the number 10 because Mkhitaryan's been quiet. They've not been getting the service.
Right, United have got the ball for once. Not had much of it in the last 10 minutes or so. Giving it away. We have gone a bit sloppy in the last, I'd say, 10 minutes.
Alan Con says Lukaku is lazy. I don't think he's lazy. I just don't think he's getting his, you know, he's not being provided for him. Legit Superman says if Martial comes on, we'll have more chances.
I think United need half time. We're losing our way a little bit from a decent start. It's Chelsea again on the break, on the attack.
Well, I was worried if United could keep up that pressure for the full 90 minutes. So they're lucky they lasted 30, 35.
To be honest,
Billy Gibson.
I know. We definitely have dropped off. I totally accept that. But I think if we can keep this sort of, if we can keep this scoreline, you know, as I said, even if it's the last 10 minutes.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as we're still in the game, yeah, we do have options on the bench. Obviously, you know, Fellaini, Martial. And maybe for that a little bit more tracking back, you could say Lingard. But
yeah, not use him.
You know, it's at the minute it just seems United are just aimlessly pumping the ball up and hoping that Rashford can chase it down or Lukaku can get a flick on.
Kwan
it just seems
we're going to win this. Mark my words.
I mean, the game again is passing Mkhitaryan by.
Yeah, I think Rashford's tried hard, but Chelsea's back three are certainly getting a foothold over ours.
Yeah, so long as it's 0-0, yeah, we're still in the game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like anything overall, you know, majorly negative about the performance. We've done well. Yeah, we are away from home at a ground that we've got a horrendous record. So, yeah, we are doing well for 0-0 so far. That's not a foul. Come on.
It's a shoulder barge, that is.
Yeah, that's just Hazard falling over.
That's what happens when a man goes up against the boy. Valencia and Hazard, shoulder barge.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, someone's just said in the comments there about the noise. There's fireworks next door. I can't help it, I'm afraid.
Yeah, officially it is bonfire night tonight. Many people have been enjoying theirs last night, but it is November the 5th tonight, and we've not had any fireworks in this game so far. I just hope Chelsea don't get a goal before half time here. I think that should be pretty much it. And, you know, obviously we could do a lot better. We could be 1-0 up, but it's not. It's 0-0, and it's not necessarily a bad thing in the grand scheme of things of what we're trying to achieve today, which is 3 points. I mean, it's not, you know, performance is always a good thing, but performance should always come second to the result. And
yeah, especially when you're away at a tough ground like this, I think, you know, the 3 points is all that matters.
yeah,
and there we go. That's half time. Yeah. So right, I'll get off the Skype then, mate. I'll let you get Ross in.
Oh yeah,
and,
okay. I'll speak to you in the second half.
I'll give you a phone back second half. All right.
All right, mate. Speak to you in about
Right,
a bit.
see you in a bit.
Right, what's people thinking? I mean, I think Manchester United started off that first half very, very, very well, and we're in the ascendancy, which for an away team is very, very good. But then I think probably the last 15 minutes, Chelsea started to exert their authority on the game. But 0-0 at half time, I think United should be quite happy with that. I certainly don't think Chelsea have done enough to be in front of it, although Christensen did have a very good chance from a cross. But from a Manchester United point of view, I'm happy that we are 0-0. We've got to do more in that second half. I thought Mkhitaryan started off okay in the first 15 minutes, but then I think he became a little bit of a passenger again. He certainly was at fault for when Hazard got his shot away. He's got to stand him up far, far better than that, and it was quite weak. But yeah, I mean, Rashford and Mickey off, Martial and Fellaini on, says Glenn Knight. I don't think we'll be doing that straight away, but I do sort of agree with you that at the moment they are the players you'd be looking to change. I think a bit more physicality from Fellaini would help. And I think Rashford's been full of effort, but the game is primed for Martial if it's 0-0 with 70 minutes gone. Ross, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, Mark?
Good, thanks. Give us your thoughts on the first half.
Mate, what a shock that was. Do you know, I just didn't expect it to be that open. It was a real shock, but delight to watch the game actually and watch us play like that and take some risks. I think our man of the match has probably been Eric Bailly, to be honest. He just looks like an absolute rock, going in hard, and it's nice to have him in that back three at the minute. But like you say, yeah, there's been a lot of effort. A lot of effort from Lukaku, a lot of effort from Rashford, a lot of effort from Herrera, but we're just lacking something, and I don't quite know what it is yet. But you know, I think it may be Martial joining Rashford and Lukaku, because we're just kind of a little bit flat in that interchange. And I don't think Mkhitaryan's been poor. I thought he's had one of his better games, but I'd like to see, when we're playing so expansive, so attacking, so open, and there's space in behind Chelsea, so much of it, adding Martial into that mix for me will really open things up.
Yeah, I agree. I think Martial will come on at some point. And the Devil is a Red makes a good point. He says, decent if not special, bide your time United, still loads of time to win this. And we've had a super chat from Richard Stainer. Thank you, Richard. He says, Lukaku needs to offer more. He needs to work harder to close defenders down quicker. And he needs to move to the ball when it's passed to his feet. I think both Rashford and Lukaku need to do more against Chelsea's back three. I mean, it's meant to be their weakness with no Luis and this Christensen playing. He should have scored, by the way. It was a brilliant chance and he shouldered it instead of heading it. So I'd say Chelsea probably slightly on top as we hit half-time, but it's 0-0. And I don't care how we win this game. And I think at half-time, Mourinho should have a plan for us to win it. Where do I think it's going wrong for United? I mean, it's hard to say it's going wrong because we are the away team. We've got a terrible record at Stamford Bridge and we are 0-0 and we are very much in this game. But I do agree with Ross that there's something slightly missing from our game that we could do better. I still feel it's that number 10, and I don't think Mkhitaryan's been terrible, but I still think we should be getting more from it. I think Matic and Herrera are working hard. The back three are working hard. The fullbacks are trying to get in the game when they can. The ball's not sticking up front, and we're not getting good ball to our forwards. Most of the time it's not sticking because it's a long ball. So yeah, would I make any changes yet? Probably not, but I'd certainly be thinking, look, if Fellaini's on the bench, that means he's got to play for me at some point, and obviously Martial as well. I still think, Ross, that if it was me, I'd change the number 10 option and I'd probably put Fellaini as the number 10, because then we have really got the opportunity to play the ball higher up the pitch and hold it, and then bring other players into it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I think Fellaini will, bring something to us, and it brings that set piece element. Because at the minute, when we're getting set pieces in their half, we're kind of just short pass and carry on, which is great sometimes. Sometimes it's nice to just hoof one in the box because you create a chance. So yeah, that'd be the obvious sub for me. But it's how fit Fellaini is. We don't really know. He hasn't played in quite a while. Yeah, Fellaini and Martial for me. Don't really want to see Lingard coming on, but Chelsea probably did have the better half. It was expected when they're playing at home, but I was really impressed with us that half. I thought we played really well, and we should have. Look, we got a massive rub of the green from that Phil Jones because he scored an own goal for me. It was the most minor of touches from Morata, and what defending that was. It was awful, but.
Yeah, they're on about it constantly. We saw it being replayed, and they're just doing it now on half time. And I thought when I saw it, I thought it was a foul, and he does push him, and I think Phil Jones makes a meal of it. But I think if that would have been given, there would have been uproar from United fans, and quite rightly so. He definitely puts his hands on him, and if you do that, it's a foul. The referee was looking at it straight away, and he blew a foul. I think it was a good refereeing decision, to be honest. But you disagree?
It was another sign of the Calamity Jones coming out for me. That was awful. It was really, regardless of any push, as a defender, you expect to have little nudges here. And one, you've got to be strong enough to stand up. And two, if you do get a little nudge, don't put the ball in your own net. And that was a hell of a finish. But you could have put the ball anywhere apart from the top corner of our goal. It was poor. But that Rashford chance, I mean, that was again that was like when you're 12 years old, you coach, do not close your eyes when you head the ball. I know it's hard, some people do it out of instinct, but you just can't do it at professional level, and especially when you're in you're at the absolute peak of football playing in this game and you're closing your eyes going for headers. It's that's very amateurish, and it needs to sort that out for me.
You know what? With that Rashford chance, I thought it had been given offside because he went the way he headed it just seemed a bit half-hearted. And then when I saw it wasn't offside, I was like, oh my God, he's got to score that. It was a good chance. It was a good chance. Let's just have a quick look at it's the link in the video description for the OneFootball app. And once you've downloaded it, it's free on Android and Apple. You need to go to Matches, and then obviously you click Chelsea versus Manchester United. And you can get the live ticker on there, which will keep you updated with everything that's going on. So the referee's just blown up for half time. You can get your lineup and your formations, and it will tell you who's been booked. Only one booking so far, which was Bakayoko. It'll also show you the stats, and stats in relation to it at the moment. It did shift in that last 10 minutes, Ross. You've got Chelsea with 57% of the possession. They've won 53% of the duels. They've had 11 shots to our 4. They've had 4 shots on target to our 1. Defensively, it's quite evenly split. Distribution, they've had 244 passes to our 191. I think I looked at this about 10 minutes before half time, and it was quite equal. And I think in that last 10 minutes, Chelsea obviously just continued in the ascendancy because those, in relation to possession and passing and everything like that, they have gone up a gear, which United need to be wary of, because when those stats are starting going against you, I know it doesn't mean you lose a game, but maybe we are being a bit sort of swayed by the first 20 minutes, which was good by United. But I think in the last 25 minutes, Chelsea probably did start to take hold of it a bit.
Yeah, now it's down to one man for me, and that's Fabregas, because he started to dictate the play. And every time he gets the ball, he looks like he wants to go forward, and his delivery is spot on every time. So we need to watch out for him, because he's starting to bring Chelsea into the game for me. Bakayoko's been Bakayoko. He's strong, he's big, but he can't really pass that well, and his finishing's abysmal, so we don't have to worry about him that much. But Fabregas is a worry for me. So we've got to shut him out. But I like what we kind of did that half, and I think it's the right tactics. Forget what they've got. Let's look at what we've got. Let's look at what Rashford, Lukaku can be doing better. But I know that live comment come through saying he needs to do better, and I agree with that. But I just think from where Lukaku's been over the last 4 or 5 weeks, he looks up for it today. He looks bang up for it, and I thought that was a good half from him. But he's lacking service, and I'd agree actually. I think where they have Fabregas playing all of their wingers, Hazard, strikers in, we kind of lack that with Mkhitaryan, who is dropping deeper, and he's tending to do the more simple thing now, which makes sense, but that's not what number 10 should be doing. They should be creating, not stat padding passes.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody just saying there, what was the app you were using? It's the OneFootball app, link in the video description, free to download, and you can get all your stats and everything on there. It's really, really good. Also gives you your latest United news. Yeah, so we don't expect any substitutions at half-time from United. I'd be very, very surprised if we did do that, Ross. I don't know. Would you make changes at half-time? Would you keep it as it is?
I would, but I'm the sort of manager that changes things at half-time regardless, because I think you can always do better. And I don't get this, you need to wait to the 60th minute. And I want to see Martial on the pitch now. I don't get why we have to wait for him. And whoever's at cost for that, whoever comes off, so be it. If it's Mkhitaryan, if it's Rashford, if it's any of the others, I want to see Martial playing, because ball at the feet, we're not running at their defenders. And you're right, it's their weakest part. Rashford's tried it a few times, but just get the ball to Martial and he will bamboozle them with his quick feet. So I want to see him on now, not in 20 minutes time.
I suppose that, in fairness to Lukaku and Rashford especially, is the fact that they haven't actually had that much ball at feet to run at the Chelsea back line, and they've definitely been dominated by the Chelsea back line. But I think that's through, again, playing high hanging up balls that are, as a defender, they're quite easy to attack. I mean, Lukaku won a couple, but it's not really Rashford's game. I'd like to see us get the ball on the ground a little bit more and find them turning, and that's exactly Martial's game. I worry at the moment whether... I don't think Martial would have done any better in that first half than Rashford did, because the ball that Martial thrives on wasn't being delivered, which is into his feet with a bit of space. So hopefully, I think Martial with about 70 minutes would be ideal. I think Chelsea wouldn't mind a point from this, though. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting second half as to how it goes. Because once you get to that 70, 80 minute mark, it's like, do you settle for draws? Do you go for wins? It's interesting to see how Chelsea sort of approach it in the second half as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Chelsea want a point out of this for me. And they'll be happy with a point, even though they are coming at us. But it's obvious that Jose... this is what we wanted. Jose does not want a point out of this, and that's brilliant. He's going for it, and I think we're going to go for it even further in the second half. And I wouldn't be... I would rather us go for it and lose 1-0 than, not actually deliver what we should do. So in the second half, I think go full throttle, bring Martial on, take a defender off. Who cares? Go kamikaze, because if we do nick it, I'm sure Jose may get, a small article of praise in the paper, because we know they don't like to praise him.
Thanks for coming on, Ross. I think we're approaching second half now anyway. Are you on the Sunday show tonight at 8 o'clock? I'd forgotten to ask.
Yes, mate, yeah.
Brilliant.
Don't see why not. And
Good
hopefully
stuff.
it's a happy one. Hopefully it's a happy one that we can all talk about the absolute Mourinho masterclass, no moaning, and we can just moan about international break.
To be honest, I suppose we can't predict the future, unfortunately. It's one thing we can't do on the United stand, but we do know we'll be on at 8 o'clock tonight, and we do know that if United lose, there will be some sort of meltdown. But in fairness, hopefully that won't happen. But if it did happen, I don't really see anything in the selection of the team or that first half where we can go, Mourinho's an idiot. I don't think he's done... I mean, Mkhitaryan was a risk. He had a good first 20 minutes and then he's sort of become a bit of a passenger again. But I can't really see anything that we can moan about from that first half. The second half, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. But so far, so good.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I'll see you at 8 o'clock.
All right, mates. I'll see you on the other side and speak to you later.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
And you can follow us on Twitter at Hazza90, which is at HAZZA90. We have got fan cams tonight. Flex is at the ground and he will be doing fan cams. Hopefully we'll get some Chelsea fans as well. We're live at 8 o'clock as well with the Sunday Night Live show. Got a match reaction after this. Subscribe to the United Stand. 8 o'clock tomorrow night is the Skype show where you can call in. Loads of stuff planned over the international break as well. Hologram in the bottom right hand corner. Click and subscribe. We're very close to 147,000 subscribers as well. But live comments always on the screen. Independent Manchester United fan channel, saying it how it is with you massively part of the show. That's basically the format of the show. Real fan opinion for the people who matter the most, which is you lot. So get subscribing, get involved, and hopefully, I feel United have to win this game. I think if we don't win it, if it's a draw, we'll be 7 points behind City. If we lose, we'll be 8 points behind City. If we win, we'll be 5 points behind them. We've got to be 5 points behind them because we've got to stay within that 2-result thing. 5 points, play them in December, beat them, 2 points. Spurs play them, draw, level. It's like, but 3 results is very hard to pull back. We've got to win. Very hard, sort of the situation we put ourselves in with that Huddersfield result, but it's the situation we put ourselves into now where I feel we've got to win this game. We've got to win this game, and so far so good, we're in it. Marcos, can you hear me?
Hello, you alright?
I'm good. Hello, yeah, I'm alright, yeah. So, second half's about to kick off. I'll set the timer up as soon as the ball kicks off. Would you make any changes, Marcus, at the moment?
No, not this minute, mate. To be honest, I don't think no one needs to come off at the minute. I think the team's done well in the first half. We've created a couple of chances. The obvious one is, 60, 65 minutes, Martial. And then probably the last 10 minutes, Fellaini, I think, if we're going to play the long ball.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah. I don't think anyone... I mean, all right, Rashford's not been in the game that much, nor has Mickey. But they don't need... they're not warranting for subs yet.
No, I don't think so either. Here is Rashford down the left-hand side. And he's won a corner, which is lucky, because I don't think it was a corner. I think Rashford was a bit naive there. No, it was a corner. He did definitely touch it.
Yeah, he touched it, yeah.
He was trying to... I don't know whether we realised he touched it or not, but he definitely did. So a corner for United, which Rashford takes. I mean, this is a big reason why Rashford starts over Martial as well. Because he can hit them front man better.
Saying that, yeah. Yeah, apologies again for the fireworks. Beyond my control, I'm afraid.
That's all right.
I can go off, Mark, if you want.
No.
Oh, sure.
I don't know what's happened here because City got a goal kick even though we had a corner and they cleared it. Weird. Anyway, sorry, Chelsea. I keep mixing up Chelsea and City. I don't know why.
So come on, United. Let's get stuck in there. Let's turn the screw. Put some pressure on them.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at the stats on the One Football app at half-time, Marcus, and I think my interpretation was quite an equal game, but Chelsea ended the half better. When you actually looked at the stats, Chelsea, more passes, quite considerably more passes, more possession, way more shots on goal than us, 4 on target to our 1, 11 shots to our 4. So, stats aren't everything, and I'm a big advocate of that, but Chelsea certainly... it wasn't as equal as I think we thought it was.
No, but I think watching the game, I mean, stats are stats. So, it's near enough like pointing out the obvious, isn't it? But I think when you're watching the game as a whole, I think it has been quite equal in terms of the play. United have, like I said earlier, in the first half, they've given as good as they've got. Neither team has had a clear-cut chance. Yeah, Chelsea have had the better of the chances, but they've not been clear-cut ones. So, we're doing well. I mean, defensively, I think we've been pretty solid again today, apart from Smalling doing the shirt grabbing. And that Jones own goal could have been given by a different referee. You never know on the day, but I think we've done all right. I really do. I think it's been a really good workman performance. A bit untidy at times, but sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yeah, my only observation about United at the moment is that, it's very, very tight. It's very, very tense, but Chelsea look more like to score a goal. United haven't had a good chance in a while, or a half chance, and I know we're all saying it's 0-0 and we can nick this, and I totally agree with that. But to do that, we're going to have to sort of do something in the final third, and probably for about the last 20 minutes of the game, we haven't done that. And Chelsea are getting into the final third at that little bit more. Oh, Phil Jones will go in for a yellow card here.
Yeah, that's a rough one. deserved yellow for Jones there. Bit rash.
I don't know why he's done that really.
Yeah, he's going nowhere. He's just lunged into him. There's 3 players around Hazard, and he's just thought basically, sod it, I'll take you down.
Yeah.
But I do think
yellow card for Phil Jones. Don't think, not much more we can say about that. Definite yellow card for Phil Jones. Chopped Hazard down.
I do think in order to nick a goal here, we've got to be a little bit more adventurous with the midfield, especially. You know, all right, we know we're playing Matic and Herrera, but yeah, they are.
Get him
He's
off.
done it again.
I think I thought the first 10 minutes was all right for Mkhitaryan, but Mickey needs to come off.
Matic has conceded a free kick there on Hazard. Yeah, he's not set the world alight this game. I really thought if he could up his game, it would have been this one. But you know, a lot of people have mentioned he goes missing when it matters. Free kick in by Fabregas. Away there by Matic.
Well, you know what, as well as, you know, it frustrates me because it's the same against Liverpool, bottling 50-50 challenges. Hazard's going down all over the shop at the moment. He's booked Herrera now.
Oh, come on. That was accidental. He knows it.
Was it?
Well,
yeah, it was.
It's just...
It's always Herrera though, isn't it? It's always Herrera. That worries me. If we get a red card, it makes the game infinitely more harder.
Well, I can't see Phil Jones coming off, so I think if anyone's going to come off now, it'll be Herrera. Well, I mean, come on, Alonso.
For pulling him back.
Yeah, he's put his arm out, arm across him.
Yeah, really. Yes, really. Bloody bold twat. Everyone knows pulling back's a yellow card offence.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, going back to what I was on about Mkhitaryan there, it does really frustrate me that he bottles 50-50 challenges. But also, we're talking again about Lukaku and Rashford not doing much, but tell me how many times they've had decent ball to feet.
Yeah.
You know, they're not doing much off the long ball again, and that's always easier for a defender to deal with. We're not getting it into their feet, turning to run at the back line. Watford winning 1-0. I predicted they'd win at Everton today. So yeah, I mean, that's the bad problem with Mkhitaryan as well. You know, with the visible we do see, the 50-50, obviously, that he's not winning those. But yeah, Phil Jones needs to be bloody careful there. But Morata's in anyway. Yeah. Who's gone with Bakayoko there? He's bombed
Herrera.
on Herrera. We're losing this game ourselves at the moment. Sloppy, all over the place. Bit like a boxing match where they've caught us with one, and it's whether they can finish us off, because we're on the ropes a little bit at the moment for some reason of our own doing. Phil Jones nearly committed himself to a second yellow card. Herrera totally lost Bakayoko, but they couldn't get the cross in. Chelsea definitely on top.
Yeah, they got the tail between the legs. They're really going for it now.
Yeah. He's going to have to change this. Oh, what a chance for Hazard as well. Yeah. This is not good. This is not good. They've got us on the ropes at the moment, and United need to react. We're losing all the 50-50s. We're losing all the second balls. Chelsea have got us on the ropes, folks, unfortunately.
Yeah, the warning signs are starting to come now.
I said to Ross at half-time, if we went on to lose this game from the first half, there's nothing really United fans can moan about Mourinho about. This second half, he's got to change it. We are, you know, I don't like admitting it, but we are hopeless. This is like the first 10 minutes of the game last season in the first half.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing. This is not a good Chelsea side at all, but they are totally dominating us at the moment. We've picked up soft yellow cards, frustrated yellow cards. And for me, Hazard should have finished that. Morata's totally unmarked. 1-0. Fucking hell, what is the hell is going on with that bloody defence? Absolute shit.
Cannot believe
what is going on with that?
There are 3 defenders there, and he's got in between the 2 of them. And what a header! Oh,
what the bloody hell is going on there? Absolute rubbish.
Look at the space there. Look, I don't. Smalling's gone with Bakayoko.
Where's Jones? Where's Bailey? Yeah. Well, Bailey's got 2 on.
Phil Jones.
Where's Ashley Young?
Ashley Young's on the left there. Look, the cross is coming. Yeah, Phil Jones. He's nowhere near him. He's on the edge of the box.
Well, you know what? It doesn't take long to sort of understand football, does it? And we were on the ropes. We were on the ropes for 5 minutes, and we didn't react to it. It just carried on. Bloody embarrassing, that is. But it's a collective. Everybody in the whole team. What we were on about, Marcus, before? You know, losing the 50-50s, not keeping hold of possession.
Yeah. Everything was just going right for them. Ever since the start of the second half, they were getting everything. The 50-50s, the second balls. We've come out really, really slow in this second half. You know, the warning signs were there from Hazard with the first attempt.
It's all right, pissing about with your pad, Jose. Show a bit of passion and sort this bloody team out. We could see that coming for 5 bloody minutes. Chelsea want it more. That's the problem. Chelsea want it more.
Well, Martial looks like he's the one now coming on. He's out there warming up.
Obviously, Martial warming up's a good thing, but the problem yet again is
we're
not getting the ball. We're not getting the ball to the front too. Oh, just Jesus Christ.
Well, you think now from this position, as much as I hate to say it, a point would be good now, coming back from 1-0 down.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, isn't it? If the team gets the first goal. Matthew McFadden says embarrassing defending. It was. It really, really was. Steve Hatt says our own fault. We should have changed it. I agree, Steve. I think it was so obvious. From the first 5 minutes, again, where Mkhitaryan's bottling 50-50s, and then, you know, they nearly scored just before that anyway. We've just not been able to get hold of the ball in this game at all. Rashford's in the box now.
One of those situations where we need Fellaini's getting warmed up now.
Well, I'd chuck anybody on just to change it. I'd make 3.
Oh, Mata's there, look. But he's not on the bench, is he?
Fellaini's coming on.
Yeah.
Good. Get somebody on who gives a damn. I think it's, to me, if Mkhitaryan comes off, this is it. Rest in peace, United career. I mean, I can't understand how many chances he wants to give a player who can't be arsed. I won't have anything negative said about the first half. I thought the first half, no real problems with it, but it's a 90-minute game of football, and we came out in that first 5 minutes like we came out in the first 5 minutes last season. I can't understand how Morata gets so much space. We weren't even caught on the break.
No, it was more of a hopeful ball in. Obviously, yeah, he was unmarked, and he was, Bailly was caught with the man, with Morata and the man behind him. But I mean, Phil Jones there, he's nowhere to be seen. Absolutely nowhere to be seen.
Dear, oh dear. I'd have to dissect that goal because something went really, really wrong. And I don't want to commit myself to say it was Phil Jones, but I don't understand how. Well, Smalling and Bailly are in the right position because they're back, but
yeah. Well, come on, Lukaku, do something now.
Right. I'm going to quickly go for a wee.
Yeah, go on then.
I'm going to smash some plates, I think, as well. Plenty of
So,
spending that.
Ali Barmer says, that's me waving by a league title. AJ Nell, if Martial plays like Mickey does, he'll pack his bags for him. Fresh King SG, all we do is long balls. I think we're going to need to now. Eric Lundquist, he hates Chelsea. Chad Sproul, it was a bullet header. I do, yeah. I think when the best goalie in the world is rooted to the floor, it's got to be something special. Let's have a look. Yeah, a lot of people calling for Fellaini to come on now. It says a lot, doesn't it, when, you know, a lot of people were against Fellaini and saying that he needed to go during the summer and things like that, but now we need him. Title is gone from Keshav.
Oh, God.
Frederick wants Lindelof on.
Is Lindelof? He's not even on the bench.
No, I know. Just
Oh,
Rachel K says, "Come on, positive vibes." Yeah, there's still half hour to go here.
That's the problem. I was just about to say, it's a 90-minute game of football, and I think United think they've done all their hard work in the first half, which they had worked hard in the first half, but you can't not come out in the second half. Very, very surprising, and we just look totally and utterly redundant at the moment. Oh, I tell you what, it's been a very, very irritating day watching City win, and now you know what? I can't stand Conte as well. I can't stand him, and I don't think this is a very good Chelsea side. I just think, again, what we've seen in this first 15 minutes of this half, especially, is the big, massive problems this squad still has at United.
Yeah, it's really weird as well that going back to the goal, Morata had so much space there where in the first half I thought it was Smalling that was shadowing him. I thought he was supposed to be his man, but you know, looking back at it, Jones for me is at fault. He is nowhere near. I think he's out on the edge of the area. I mean, Smalling's playing as the central defender there.
Answers on a postcard as to what went wrong in that second goal, but get him off. It's
Mkhitaryan, he does not. He's not at the races at all, is he? He really isn't. 22 for 11. So
yeah, I think that is where Mourinho has to take the blame, doesn't he?
I think for that, yeah, I do. But if that's his only number 10 available, you know, we know he doesn't like playing Martial, Rashford and Lukaku straight away. We know Lingard's not a natural number 10.
Well, this is why, you know, obviously, who did Martial come on for?
Martial's come on for Mkhitaryan and Phil Jones has come off for Fellaini.
God knows what we're doing then.
Well, it's definitely gone for a 4 at the back now.
Well, Rio Ferdinand was on about this. He said it's a mistake how United aren't playing a front three of Martial and Lukaku and Rashford. Well, we'll see it now. If this suddenly works, we'd be like, why have we never done it? But a lot of people saying the title's gone. I think way too early to say it, but I don't think we could ever afford it to go to 8 points, and it will do. I don't think we can afford a draw. So, but we're going to have to hope for a draw now.
But we also got to hope that none of our front three pick up an injury now. Else that could probably be very, very fatal for us. It's amazing how much space he got between that central defenders. There's 3 centre backs.
Mini Diver says the game's going to change for United's favour now. I hope so.
I think we need a goal within the next 10-15 minutes to have any chance now of winning it.
Yeah, and to be fair to Mourinho, it's an expansive change.
It is, yeah.
we're still the better team on paper. We've got to bloody show it.
So if ever we needed Plan B to work, it's now.
Herrera, time for Laney. Yep. Oh, what are you doing?
Oh.
Marouane, a bit rusty there.
That is, yeah.
Could have been game over. He got away with it a little bit there. I think he thought he was Zidane again. You got to get your match fitness in, mate. Don't mess about with it there. Nearly destroyed all his early season work with an absolute clanger, but he got away with it.
Kieran Byrne says it's a 4-2-3-1 now. Sloppy from Fellaini, yeah. But he's only just come back from injury.
Yeah. We've got 25 minutes left in this game. We've created nothing, so. And I would agree with Ayabullo. Chelsea probably do look the better side at the moment, but I hope Chelsea make a defensive change.
I think they are.
Well, they're making a sub.
It's like for like, isn't it?
Zabra Costa, so yeah, it's like for like. I'd love to see Hazard come off.
Yeah, but hopefully
we need a number 10 and a centre back. Well, we've got Rojo, haven't we? I think I'd love to see if somebody's got opportunity, because we can't, because we're live. If anybody's got the capacity to have a look at that goal again and tell us who was at fault. I can't see how it's Smalling or Bailly, because they're in position. Jones is woefully out of position, and I presume Ashley Young. Oh, we're just not picking up the second balls now. I presume Ashley Young had a man on the overlap, which is why he stayed so wide, and that forced Phil Jones out. But they just... I can't understand. We weren't even caught on the break. I don't understand how, with three centre-backs, you get caught in a situation with a 3-on-2 in the box. It was a good header by Morata, but totally unmarked. It's still all Chelsea.
Come on, yeah. I mean, look, see, Herrera's got to be careful here as well. He's on the yellow.
Come on. I'm still thinking about winning, so that's why I'm saying come on. I want us to get up the field. I don't think Lukaku is going to do himself any good today in relation to those people who are unsure about him. Again, I sort of feel that, you know, he's certainly, I don't think he's had a good game today. I don't think he's won it anywhere near enough of the 50-50s, but I still say that the big problem is not having a number 10. If you haven't got a number 10, the forwards are going to suffer.
I think the number 10 is the key position, isn't it? It's the the outlet for the defence. It's the strikers feed. So much happens through that number 10's position. It's so important, and having a player like that who's just not interested, he's got no confidence.
Let's not forget as well, somebody just said we're going to be fighting for top 4 again. If we lose this game, Liverpool not far behind us.
Yeah, you're going to see all these teams start creeping up now.
Corner. Yeah.
Take that.
Oh, Isaac says Mourinho gets the blame for our long ball tactics. I think Mourinho will get some blame if we lose the game, yeah, because he's the manager. And Mkhitaryan has gone off under a cloud of poor performance again, and that comes down to Mourinho. But I don't think... think Mourinho is at fault when the players come out. That 5 minutes after the half time was just shocking.
I mean, I know it's not over, until May, Mark, but 8 points is doable. We can claw it back. We'd have to win the games against City, though.
Yeah, I think for that reason the title's not over. But
yeah. I
think more symbolic is that there's two things really. If we lose this game, well, again, we've not picked up points against the team from the top 4.
Yeah.
But also, I think instead of looking up, we're looking down. We're looking at Liverpool, we're looking at Chelsea, because they're catching us up again, and instead of being in a battle for first, we're in a battle for second, third and fourth, and that is the problem as well. I mean, when we come back from the international break, we have got 2 winnable games at home. I think we've got Newcastle and Brighton, but I just go back to very similar feeling at Anfield, that we had an opportunity to win that and we didn't. And we were talking before the game, I look at this Chelsea lineup and I don't really see anything that we should have been scared of, but you've got to play for 90 minutes and you've got to play with effort for 90 minutes, and we didn't play for 90 minutes. Well, that first 10 minutes, 5 minutes after the second half was just, you could see it. We were on about it. 2 minutes before the goal, we're on the ropes. And Rashford with another corner that doesn't hit the front, doesn't beat the front first man. I just so wish we'd got Perisic, because look, he's not Messi. He was never going to be Messi, but he was all about decent delivery, which we just don't have. It's getting away from us. It's getting away.
Yeah. Now Smalling again. Look, he's all arms. That guy really is. I mean, I still don't see why Rashford's taking the corners or the free kicks. I really don't. You know, even probably Ashley Young could put in a better delivery than what he could. Oh, Morata, get up, come on. Fellaini's getting a yellow for nothing, for going up for a header.
It's totally accidental.
I'll give out.
It's hardly even a raised elbow, is it?
Ah.
Well, the FA are going to back him about that. Marion Fellaini booked then. It starts to rain, doesn't it? It doesn't just rain, it pours, that's the problem. Resignation in the air.
Yeah.
Just going to have a look on the OneFootball app. Link in the video description if you haven't downloaded it. Free on Apple and Android. I'm just going to go matches. 2-1 Everton and Watford. Who is the best player? You can cast your vote on that. Hazard's got 4,000 so far. Certainly not a United player, is it? I'd probably vote Morata so far, to be honest. But that's not what I wanted to have a look at. You can start voting for your man of the match in the OneFootball app. We'll take a look at that, obviously, in the match reaction. But what I did want to have a look at was the stats so far, because we were losing in the first half slightly. It's gone even worse in the second half. 60% possession almost for Chelsea. They're winning way more duels, but of more importance, total shots 14-6. Shots on target 6-1. And I think the one shot we had on target was that Lukaku one in the first half.
Yeah.
Really, really poor from United. It's just fell away in this second half. It's a 90-minute game, as we all know. Link in the video description for that. OneFootball app, and cast your vote on the player of the match so far. Hazard seems to be winning it. He's been good, but I don't think United haven't dealt with Hazard. It wasn't Hazard's assist, was it? It was Morata's goal. I think we've dealt with Hazard quite well. So I disagree with it. He's man of the match. I think the difference was obviously that poor bit of defence and Morata's goal. But very disappointing. Very disappointing half from United, and it will leave massive question marks if we can't turn it around. And I think Rashford's been shocking as well, Marcus. I really do.
Yeah.
I think Rashford's been very, very poor today.
He has, but I mean, again, is that because of the lack of service? First half he was chasing down, trying to use his pace to get past Aspilicueta in the first half. Not too much though. But again, it's it's all coming down to that number 10 position. There's no one that can hold it down. The obvious one to start every game at number 10 is Mata. But you know, does Mourinho trust him enough to play him there? Obviously not. Which is more. This is more of a problem than the left-hand side now. I think the way the season's panning out. Lingard's looks like he's coming on now.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but the way the season's panning, it's the number 10 is more of a problem now for us than the left-hand side.
Jared Pesselman's made a contribution. Thank you, Jared. And Fellaini, I think, might have just given the game away.
He's lost it again.
I mean, I could dig Fellaini out. You know, I'm not his biggest fan, but to be honest, he looks like a player who's just back from injury. Jared Pesselman says Perisic would have a Messi type impact with his skill set. He would have given his ability to play wider, cross better every game, and be more expansive. Yeah, that's exactly what I was sort of trying to allude to, really. You know, Perisic wasn't going to be a Messi type player, but he would have given us quality crosses from the wide, which we just don't have. I'm sorry, I'd love to be proved wrong on this, but I think the game's gone. The momentum's gone. It's about, you know, if you've ever played football, momentum, confidence, you can make subs, but it's gone this game, and it might well be gone now. Cracking save by De Gea, Hazard. Oh dear, dear, dear.
Yeah, again, Phil Jones out of position. Matic is filling in there for him.
Well, he is out of position.
Oh yeah, he's not filling. Yeah, he's not filling. Totally forgot about that.
You're like that fan cam last week. He's not even on the bloody pitch. You can't blame Phil Jones for that one, I'm afraid.
No, I totally forgot about the subs.
You're accurate though. He's definitely out of position. Oh well, yeah.
But you know what? Even with the two substitutes, Martial and Fellaini, we've not even created nothing yet.
No.
With them two on. We are just, I think, overall the game, we are second best on everything. And what makes it worse is we got an international break, and we know how we play after an international break as well.
Well, at least after this international break, we're actually going to be at home for 2 games. But I think, you know what, we'll be fine after the international break. I think we will beat Newcastle. But I just think it's, you know, that's beating Newcastle at home is not really what this season's meant to be about. It's about picking up some points in games like this where we should pick up points.
Well, even Bay's tackle there, look, it goes straight back to a Chelsea player.
Yeah, it's momentum,
everything,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything's going for them. Getting turned over all over the place. Well done, Ashley Young, there, because they had an overlap there. And here's Rashford.
Right.
No, it's just not quite right. Not quite right. Well, the fan cams are going to be interesting. Don't forget they'll be going up tonight. The 8 o'clock show, obviously, as well. But I do sense Chelsea will get a second goal before us. Well, we won't get. I don't think we'll get a second goal at all, to be honest.
I don't even think we're going to have a shot on target, mate, in the second half.
It's a 90-minute game. I said at half time. I don't really see how you could, you know, blame anybody. But it is a 90-minute game, and this second half has been horrific.
It's really been poor. Considering we got in at half time, level peggings, you'd have thought Mourinho would have got them up for it and said, right, you know, again, same as the first half, keep them quiet. First 15, 20 minutes, here comes Lingard.
For who? Ashley Young, right?
Ashley Young, yeah.
At the back, maybe.
Right. Well, he's going for it now. Looks like what, 3-4-3.
I mean, I think you've got to give Mourinho some sort of. Hesitant to say credit, because if you lose a game, you lose a game. But he doesn't want to lose this game. He can't stand Conte, whether it's United versus Chelsea or not. It's a personal thing as well. He will not want to lose this game to Conte. But
you know what? I mean, Chelsea just done a sub there, Drinkwater for Fabregas. I'm glad Fabregas has gone off because he has been pulling the strings.
I don't think a point's good enough in relation to the title, but to be honest, I'm not even thinking about the title at the moment. I'm thinking about Chelsea are a rival for the top 4, and I don't want to lose to them. That's more my thought process now. So if we can get away with a point, I would happily take it. I don't think we should even be talking about the title anymore. Not because we can't win it, but I just don't think these players can be trusted to win the title. The concentrations levels of that first 10 minutes of the second half were appalling. Everybody, absolutely everybody. Looks like Watford have bottled another result away from home, 2-0 up, and they're 2-2 with Everton now.
This is going to be a really testing last 10 minutes.
Well, we've got to do something that we haven't done.
Yeah. Chelsea obviously want the second to kill the game. I'll tell you what, that cross from Rudiger wasn't that far off going in. I know we've got 10 minutes left, Mark, but Morata today, impressed?
Yeah, I did, I mean, I'm going to write him down just to mention him in the match reaction regardless of what happens, but I wanted Morata in the summer over Lukaku. Don't want him now. I'm more than happy with Lukaku, but I did want Morata. I do like Morata. I always said Morata's a good striker. A very good header, but he had the freedom of London. Nobody was even marking him. But he's a good player, Morata. He is a good player. Not much more I can say about that. What about you, Marcus?
I was like you, mate. When word got out we was after a striker, Morata was the first one for me. Disappointed we didn't get him. I can see the attraction with Lukaku, Premier League proven. Knows Mourinho. So the only thing that worried me was, could he make that step up from Everton to Manchester United? And he did. He set, I think, the team really well in the first few games where we were winning like 3s and 4-0s. But now he's on a bit of a goal drought. Has he got the confidence to get to come back from it and to get a goal? And the longer it's taking, I think the worse we're playing, actually.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we're making all these substitutions, and Chelsea, to be honest, I don't know how they haven't scored a second goal. We've done absolutely nothing. There's going to be... I think, like I said, I mean, my match reaction will obviously be quite frank, but I think there's going to be a lot of anger in the fan cams tonight. Because it's just... I think from a good... I think this game, in many ways, is really... I'm going to take a note of this as well, because I think it's symbolic of our season. It's like last season, we won every game to the international break, then we came back and we capitulated. This season, we got to the second international break and then we've capitulated. Last season against Chelsea, first 5 minutes of the game, we capitulated. This season, we got to half-time, did okay. First 5 minutes of the second half, we've capitulated. There's definitely progress, but there's still big problems. Should there still be problems when there's progress? Maybe. Should we be having those sort of problems that we've had in that first 5-10 minutes of this second half? No. I mean, you shouldn't, as a fan, see a goal coming and then the goal happens. And we were all there saying, we're like that boxer on the ropes here, that they are getting at us. And that's because everything was so wrong. It's like they left their heads in the dressing room for me.
It is. They came out of that second half and it was like the complete opposite of the first half. I mean, yeah, Chelsea ended the first half on top, so you would expect them, to carry on in the second half. But United, concentration levels were left in the dressing room. They really weren't at the races. And yeah, we were all saying after the Hazard chance, he should have buried it. We should have been 1-0 down. We could see the goal coming. Mourinho didn't react to it, and lo and behold,
too much for Fellaini. Still time, still time, but
I mean, we all had high hopes before the game. We're going to win this, and 60% on the poll, United were going to win it. Now we're all hoping that we can just get a draw here and come out of it with something. So
I mean, if anyone's not seen my match reaction, it was quite. I'll have to watch that back myself because my hand actually hurts quite a lot. But that was, you know, I'm sure everybody feels like just bloody frustration because when you see it coming and you get away with it a little bit, but it still then happens. It's so frustrating to know it's going to happen if you don't change it, and we didn't change it. It's just really, really frustrating. Yeah, I don't know. Just very disappointed, but
yeah, we've really not showed any attacking intent in the second half. We've really not. I don't even think we've had a shot on goal, have we?
No, not in the second half.
No. So a very poor display by United in the second half. Don't know what is going on with them. You know, we're all wondering now. Like there's a few people in the comments saying congratulations to City on winning the title. Well, were we all that blind to think that this team could win the title? Don't know. That's, you know, up for debate.
I think I think that this team should be better than it is. I think that this team should be beating this Chelsea side, and I think everyone's got a right to expect that.
Yeah.
I think the players have let the fans and the manager down. The manager's got to take fault in relation to the Mkhitaryan risk. Just did not work again. It didn't. But
the
players have got to come out in that second half and do far, far better than that.
I mean, if you look at the teams like City, they have standout players. You know, De Bruyne, David Silva, Aguero. You look at Chelsea. You know, they've got decent attacking players: Hazard, Willian, Pedro. You look at us, and you think, okay, Martial, Rashford, they're young. They still need time to develop. And then, what, Pogba? Are those three really capable of... would they...
Rashford
unlucky.
Tried. It's a corner anyway, I think. No, maybe not.
You know, I mean, we got two young, great talents at the team, but are they going to be that class that the likes of City and Chelsea have? Can they do it? Can they take a game by the scruff of the neck and win it? Here comes Willian for Hazard. See, I mean, that's basically what I'm saying there, that Willian for Hazard, we take off Mkhitaryan and bring on Fellaini. It's not the same quality in the substitutions.
No. If you've not subscribed, one positive is that we're about 25 subscribers off 147,000. So if you've not subscribed, the button's in the bottom right hand corner. But I think we all would rather we somehow get a win. I wish Lukaku would hit that first bloody time. It's on your left foot. That's your strong foot. Hit it. Now that sums up Lukaku's game at the moment. Well, not at the moment, to be fair. I like Lukaku, but he's got to hit that. It's in the stride. It's on his left foot. Yeah, it's 25 yards out, but what are you taking a touch for? It's a whimper loss there. I mean, to be honest, if we got a draw out of this, it'd be almost a smash and grab. Chelsea would be like, how did we draw it? But in relation to the loss, it's like we're still in the dressing room at half time. If you're going to lose a game, you want to lose a game in a way where you just go, oh, you know, we weren't that good, but I mean, you know, we did everything we could, but I don't think we've done that at all. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh.
Big game bottler, says Jamie Trolling, in relation to Lukaku.
No, he's not done his reputation any favours, has he? I mean, not just today, but in the last few games. Yeah, we pinpointed it down to not getting the service from Mkhitaryan. But Mkhitaryan's off the pitch now. He has been for the last half hour. And it's still the same.
Yeah. Spot on. 8 chances to 1. That's why United have lost this game.
Was that overall, Mark, or was that just the second half? Oh, right. So the one chance would have been Lukaku in the first half then.
Oh dear me, I didn't expect this, but to be honest, I'm not going to say I'm totally shocked because I think Fellaini's got to score there. He's got to score. It was a good chance. We're still on the attack. Martial, there's a good chance for Fellaini. That was. Thinks he should have had a penalty as well.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here because he's already on a yellow.
I think he's got to score that, Fellaini, to be honest. I'll just wait to see it again. Just a long ball, really, which he gets up and causes the havoc with. Oh, well, to be fair, I don't think he has got a score. I think he was a lot further out than I thought he was.
Just took a deflection off of Rudiger as well. Lukaku. Oh.
Well, we're just pumping the long ball now. We're no better than a Stoke losing one at Stamford Bridge now, are we? We really are just hitting long balls. 4 minutes to be added on. Yeah, so I don't think the draw's good enough, but I think maybe we started this game thinking we can win the title. I think we've ended it thinking, yeah, we probably can't. I'd like the point because I think the point's important in relation to the battle we might be in for Champions League football now. I think we're in a battle for the top 4, as somebody said, and right now we are, and I don't know how tight it is for that battle, but a battle.
You know what? I mean, just seeing a replay there, Cahill's, he's got his arms around him. We saw that penalty against City and Arsenal earlier. That could have been given.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Do you know what, Morata, as much as I wanted him in the summer, I'm glad we didn't because I'm getting sick of seeing him on the floor.
Well, that's what he is, isn't he? He's that sort of a player. So, what are you all thinking at home? I suppose De Gea would probably be your obvious man of the match, Marcus, I suppose.
No, do you know what? I would probably say I think Matic has done quite well. Coming back to Chelsea. Yeah, I think he's had a decent game.
It's a horrible point. It's a horrible pill to swallow, losing to.
It is, yeah.
Really is. But we've got lots of men forward. Who knows? It could change. Herrera.
Just toss it in there, Herrera. Come on. All right, Matic on the left. Oh.
A minute and a half, and they're on the break. 2 against 2, and Morata might
make it 2-0.
Oh, he fell over his own feet there. Well done.
Well, going into the international break, 8 points beyond.
That's what makes it even worse as well, right before an international break. We've got a free kick late on here.
Yeah.
God, how we need somebody who can take a free kick. Answers on a postcard for that.
No, I think Matic has done really well for us today. Considering second half, the whole team has been pretty piss poor for me. He's probably the only shining light I can see. He's really consistent, I think, throughout the season.
Yeah, I think Matic has been a fantastic signing for United. The jury will be out on, and that's over the bar, but a corner for United. Not over yet. Not over yet.
Someone in the comments there said we need Wayne Rooney.
Somebody take the bloody corner. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, mistake there. Matic has got 2 on him now. He's going to have to do
Just
really
belt
well.
it in. And
That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Oh dear. Let's have a look what happens with Mourinho and Conte. Look at him again. Conte is an absolute CUNTE. Refusing to shake hands with Mourinho onto the pitch.
Do you know what? What disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I wish I could say what I like about that bloke. I really do. Refusing to shake his hand, runs onto the pitch, arms in the air, almost as if they won the title again. Lack of sportsmanship.
Give us your thoughts, Marcus.
I think it was a drab performance from United, especially the second half. Absolutely shocking second half. The substitutions didn't make any difference until towards the end with Fellaini having that chance on goal. I still think there's work to be done within this team. It's obvious, and I think going from 6th to 1st was probably too much of a jump for this team. It's just not quite there yet. We're still missing 2 or 3 signings.
I think, well, I'm going to do everything in my match reaction, obviously. The link is in the video description for it. I'm not very happy, got a lot of things I want to say, but the thing that stands out to me the most is how have we bloody lost that game to that Chelsea side? How have we made that Chelsea side, managed by that cretin, look that good? Shocking. Lots of things I want to say, but I'll be live in about 60 seconds with my match reaction. The link is in the video description. Thanks for Marcus coming on, and thanks for everybody who's been involved on the watch along. Thanks, Marcus.
Yep. No worries, mate. Pleasure as always. Thanks to everyone in the comments, and see you next time.
And join me, match reaction, 60 seconds. It's going to be explosive. It is fireworks night, and United need a massive rocket up their arse. I'll see you in 60 seconds. Link in the video description, or go through the homepage. I'll see you in a minute. Thanks for watching. Cheers, pal.
No worries, mate. That let rip, Mark. That was absolutely fucking diabolical second half.